Brought to you by Make Fun Network.
Welcome to the Top 5 of Death, where listeners vote and everyone dies. Listen and die.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Top 5 of Death. I'm your host, Matt. Just put a sheet on his bed, Bistany. I'm here with I'm here with all the boys. All the boys are here today.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We're gonna just get right on in there. Who was
Doing
missing
boy
last week?
stuff.
Will.
Yes, I was missing last week. I was out getting one of these.
What is that?
This is
A
what you
jerk
call
off medallion?
That's a challenge coin from one Bobby Shea III.
Oh, what'd you challenge him to?
It's a commemorative coin of his career.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does
So
he get
you
to pick a
didn't
design
challenge
that?
Yeah, I don't know if he did. Maybe his wife did. I think she bought it and modeled it. But she's
That's pretty
pretty
cool.
artistic, so came out great. One side helicopter pilot, the other side tanker.
Oh.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
What would you guys put on your commemorative coins?
Oh boy,
Um,
I don't want to spoil anything.
On one side of mine, I'd have a Hank Hill bum.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side, I'd have a yin yang sign so that when you use my coin as a slammer in the game of Pogs, you were allowed to make one rule at the beginning.
Sick.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 4D chess
Yeah.
with pogs.
4D chess is back.
In
Pog
pog form.
Anyone else? Coins? No?
I don't know.
All right, moving
Washington.
on. You guys are too
Yeah.
slow. You guys are too slow. You're too slow. Listen,
Yep.
if you want to be quick, you got to be quick. That's all I'm saying. Too slow. Charles, speaking of slow, what's up with you?
What's up with me?
Yeah, slow freak.
Yeah. Slow moving all the time. That's where I'm
Yep.
going. I don't know. I've been busy. I've been doing stuff. Had a 4th of July weekend.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
Took my nieces to the pool. So that was
Is that a
interesting.
euphemism for pooping?
Yep. Dropped my
When you
nieces
have a
off at the
when
pool.
when you have an asshole as dainty as Charles, you take your nieces to the pool.
Yeah. Took him to the pool. For some reason, the kids section was closed, so everybody in the regular. I don't want to call it a deep end. What do you call the regular section of the pool? Just the pool?
The deep end. There's a shallow end and a deep end. There's only two
guess-
ends.
I guess the shallow end.
There's the ramp.
Okay.
Like it ramps down.
Yeah. But yeah, we were in there. Did that for an hour, and then we did fireworks at Mount Vernon,
Cool.
the first president's home on 4th of July. It's one of the only times I've ever done that.
President Vernon.
Sweet.
Yep, President
Burn.
Vernon. Then
Hey,
we went
Burn.
Then we went paddleboarding today, so that was cool. That was nice.
Where'd you do that?
On the river.
Fascinating. Will,
Nice.
how was your
Do you
week?
want specific locations? Like if I'm going to tell you, I went paddleboarding in Occoquan. Do you know where Occoquan is?
No, but it's way more interesting than the river.
Yeah, we went on the Occoquan River.
Occoquan. Who's that name
Google
after?
it. I don't know, Sir Occoquan, our third president.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. Will, you were gone
Yes.
last week. What'd you do?
So-
You got a coin, you said.
I kind of touched on it with the challenge coin from my good friend Bobby Shea III, retired from the U.S. Marine Corps after 21 years as a tanker and a helicopter pilot, an officer, Major Bobby Shea, I should say. Very proud of him, long-term friend. Matt knows him somewhat. He's an American hero and a very humble and funny guy. So it was really nice
is.
for us to get down there. Me and the boys all traveled down. And celebrated him and also celebrated our tendencies to be degenerates. We went out Monday night with Bobby and had a
Bobby
good
went
time, just
home.
talked. Bobby went home because the
Yep.
bar closed. It was 2 a.m. So We were talking
And
to
then?
some locals, and
Yeah.
they said there's a bar over here that closes in another hour, so we can get like one more drink. So we
Yeah.
went there. Next thing I know, it's 4 a.m. Sully and Murphy are white knighting some really drunk guy who like can barely stand up and making sure that he gets around. We take him to the bar with us for some reason, or he just jump in the car. And then they spent the next hour and a half trying to get him an Uber home safe. And they did, which was very nice. The guy couldn't even stand up.
Mm-hmm.
And they finally got him in the Uber. Then they jumped in the car and left me in the ghetto of Tampa waiting for my own Uber, even though they had all the time in the world for this fucking random piece of shit. So that was fun. We had
Nice.
some good times there. Today I beat Doom Eternal, which I'm very happy to say. It was a very
Oh.
difficult game. One of the hardest games I've beaten. I think it's because of my age. But 10 out of 10 game. Highly recommend.
gotta
And the
play
other
those.
thing I wanted to mention, anybody see clips from the Aussie show?
I saw
a few?
1
Kinda.
second of it.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Really?
He sang pretty well.
There you
I'm
go.
sure there was a lot of enhancement.
No,
but-
the Prince of Darkness? No.
No, but he was singing. I thought there was rumors he wasn't going to be singing at all. He was just going to kind of, I don't know, sit in a chair and go. But it sounded very good for a guy who's about to die.
Oh yeah.
Aw.
Well, he's probably been dead. So
That's true too.
Just air escaping.
yeah, that's pretty good.
But I thought it was interesting. A good send off for Ozzy.
Yeah,
What a career.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's pretty good. He should have bit a head off a bat one last time.
I know.
That would've
Well,
been
I didn't
sick.
see the whole show.
That's true. That's true. Sam, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good.
All right. Well, I'll see you later.
Bye.
I had a good 4th of July week. Went to my parents' house. They always have like an annual party, so got to see a lot of my family who I haven't seen in like a year. That was fun. And then Kaylee and I went for a bike ride on the 4th. We have e-bikes which have been like neglected for the last like 2 years because we've been like too busy to ride them.
Is it a tandem e-bike?
Yeah, tandem e-bike. We have our own individual bikes. But we rode those for like, it was like 15 miles or something like that. You know, and it's just a fun, quiet way to spend a nice day.
How often do you and Kaylee get to go out and do something together, just the both of you, that is not career related at all, like a strictly leisurely kind of date-esque scenario?
I mean, when we're on the road, never. Because like everything we're doing, we're cramming in between a shoot or something like that. But yeah, this was nice. We're looking forward to doing a little bit more of that this summer because the last 2 summers have been absolutely nonstop work, and we haven't got to enjoy any of it at home or take care of my house properly. So I've been doing a lot of that bullshit, just like
That's fun.
reorganizing the garage and fucking doing weeding and mulching and, you know, fucking homeowner bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sam, you're definitely the kind of couple, you're like, sorry for the mess, and your house is immaculate.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, the place is a disaster. I
Sorry,
don't
we
see
live
any-
here.
I don't see any Baby Bell wax smushed into your cushion, so that's good.
You haven't been in our car then.
No. Speaking of Baby Bell cheese, I discovered some Baby Bell cheese wax in Wednesday's bed.
She's
So
been
today
sneaking cheese.
Today I confronted her.
It's clean
I
living.
said, "Are you sneaking cheese at night?" And she just started dying laughing. I was like, "Are you eating cheese at night?" And she just could not stop laughing. And I said, "You can't do that." It was pretty
It's like
good.
the Shane Gillis bit of the guy making grilled cheese at night.
makes some grilled cheese at night, puts them in his pockets. But yeah, so well, that's good. I'm glad. It sounds like you had a nice little time with Kaylee.
Yeah, it was nice.
That's good. That's
She
good.
deserves it.
She does.
Yeah, she's all right. Although she does listen to this regularly, she will hear everyone say nice things about her, and then me go, she's all right.
You want me to say something mean about her?
Yeah.
Fucking bitch.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, fucking Kaylee, you jerk bitch.
And her hair's a wig.
Yeah, take that
whole
wig
thing,
off.
The whole thing comes off.
Yeah,
Top of her head and
alopecia,
everything.
bitch. Why don't you
Like a
get rid
Lego
of that
hat.
alopecia? You fucking bitch. Is it jarring to hear someone say bitch so aggressively over and over again? It might be. I don't know. You fucking bitch. It's McGruff calling you a bitch. Don't commit the crime of being a bitch.
I don't know
Take
why that
red
voice
hair,
gets me.
Stick it up your ass. You bitch. I'm a dog.
6'5",
Don't
too.
photograph me. You don't have my permission.
Oh, fantastic. Matt, how's your week been?
That's good.
Good.
I felt bad. I honestly, if I'm coming clean here, I did feel bad about last week's episode because I was so fucking tired, and I just had a day, and I was like, ugh, I have to like remind myself that people spend time listening to the show, so I should be better at the show. And I'm good most of the time, sometimes, but I don't know. I just like, I'll put it this way. A lot of times in my history, I've been able to kind of be like, yeah, I'm tired. But once like I get going, like I kind of perk up, I think those days are over. I think those days of relying on my sheer, like, I don't know, not like adrenaline, but like whatever that would be, my performative genes kicking in and being like, hello, my baby, hello, my darling. Like, now I'm just like, I'm tired. Let me go record a show. And then I'm just tired. And then I go to think about something or come up with something, and I have nothing. I don't have anything. And I don't even have the wherewithal to turn it into anything. And I'm like, ooh, this is Father Time reminding me that it is moving forward. I was like, okay, that's fine. Just adjust. So, sorry, everyone.
Listen,
Try not to let it happen again.
We're coming up on 500 episodes. That's a lot of content. You can't be on for all of it.
I know. But I just like, ugh.
Hey, no matter how much you phone it in, Kevin Weaver's still going to vote for you.
That's true. I don't listen, Kevin Weaver. You bitch. You're a fucking freak, bitch. Should go send off for another mail-in bride, McGruff. Anyway,
I like
my
how
week
he
was
says
good.
his name.
Went to a cookout, right? Went to the 4th of July cookout. It's very nice, very low key. It's just like Megan's cousins that everyone kind of has kids. So it was only like 5 families.
How are the condiments?
Ooh,
Condiments were good.
Steam burgers?
Oh yeah, they were fucking within date very much. The burgers were good. All the food was good. All the food was friggin' not from 2021. Jesus Christ. My cousin texted me about that. I have a cousin that listens to the show, and he texted me. He's like, "Oh, I heard about your stepmom's party. Sorry, I missed it." And I was like, "Fuck you, dick." But yeah, so no, it was good. Got some house stuff done. Still, so much to be done, and it's good. I got the floating entertainment center. Like it's like a shelf. It's like an entertainment thing, but I got it up today, which is nice. I've been waiting for that. So
Did you get a new TV, or does your TV still? Do you have the super green television?
no, I bought a brand new 100-inch TV.
Sick.
You bought a 100-inch TV.
Yeah,
The one that
I didn't tell you guys that.
No.
What? Hold on.
Why
yeah, I
aren't
bought
you
a 100-inch.
recording in front of
Not a
this?
projector.
No, I got a 100-inch TV. Why? What do you guys have?
A 43.
Small living room that couldn't handle a TV
Yeah.
like that.
So to Will's point, right? So my main floor is all open concept, and that like I have like 10-foot ceilings. If I got a TV smaller, it would look really small in that space. Not to say that's the reason I got the 100-inch TV. I got the 100-inch TV because I am who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let me. I thought I told you guys that. I didn't mention the 100-incher. I got the 100-incher. It's great. And it. I've been waiting to put on. I got a Sonos Arc 8 sound bar to go with it. Sounds good.
You have the whole Sonos setup everywhere?
No,
or
I just have the sound bar
just
for
starting
now.
out?
Yeah,
Are
I
you
think I'm
gonna
going
go
to add
for
the
the whole thing?
woofers.
Oof.
I think
Turns
if
into big
anything-
money, but it's nice.
That's what everyone says. I think I just might go with 2 because the subwoofers are wireless, and I want to put them underneath my sectional as like butt kickers. So I think I might get the 2 and put them on the corners of the sectional. But it's great. It's great. I'm going to send you guys a photo of Birdie for scale sitting in front of the TV watching Miss Rachel.
Next to Big Bird.
Yeah.
Next to a banana for scale.
Little Bird.
Next to a banana. Yeah, so I just sent it to you guys. But I got the
That's awesome.
That's wild.
but yeah, no, I gave the off-color TV to the new owners as like a gift. I was like, you guys can just have it. They're like, oh, that's so nice. I was like, great. I don't have to get rid of it. And now it's your problem. Don't call me when you notice what's wrong with it.
Oh, what a shitbag move. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Try not to watch The Simpsons on it. They will be
Yeah,
doing
You're
it.
welcome.
You're welcome. Goodbye. But the week was good. I got so much stuff to still do. I still have friggin' so much shit behind me. This is all downstairs. It's friggin' brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Brutal. Just moving forward. Just keeping it going.
Which kitchen do you guys use?
The one that's upstairs. We haven't even got. I can't even get to like the second other full kitchen, which is right here. Yeah, so I'm in the ADU basement, if you will, which is bigger than what my house was. But it's great.
Crazy.
Great. Yeah. So I don't know. Everything's going good. So that's my check-in. So who won last week?
We don't have any winners because I forgot to put up the lists.
Hey, no. Well, you know what? It's a good time to bring up the fact that the show's ending at episode 500. So they're like, hey, they don't even do the deaths anymore. You're right.
Yeah.
We do. We don't. It's getting tough, boys. But new shows in the works. We're working on it. Expect some announcements as these episodes round up. Round off? Round up.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, we don't have any winners.
Aren't we all winners in a way?
Shut up, Sam. Shut the fuck up. Fucking you and your
Will-
tandem bitch bike.
Will, did you listen to the episode?
No.
I did a little bit. Probably like the first. Sam's bullshit. I hate that. I did a little bit. I enjoyed the first half. You want me to talk about it? Because I
No.
don't remember a fucking thing.
I don't.
Just a
It was good. You guys are fantastic.
Great.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
The
Love
show's
it.
always better without me.
Here, let's do this. Give me 5 random. Give me a topic. I'm going to ask for 5 trivia questions
gonna
on
freestyle?
that topic. Nope.
You gonna Harry Mack it?
I don't even know who that is. Who's Harry Mack? Big Mac?
A topic: 1980s wrestling.
All right, give me 5 1980s wrestling trivia questions.
You pulling up? What are you doing?
I'm just
How
gonna. We got no
convenient.
deaths.
Sam picks his expertise.
Give me uranium for 500.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go. 19 Who defeated the Iron Sheik in 1984 to win the WWF Championship and kick off the Hulkamania era?
Matt, I have
Hold
a
on.
guess.
Wait. We got options. Was it A, Randy Savage? Was it B, Sergeant Slaughter? Was it 1, Hulk Hogan? Or D, The Ultimate Warrior?
Oh boy, this is tough.
Who said AI's coming for our jobs?
No guesses. So the answer is
Terry
The
Terry
answer-
Savage, right? It's
is-
Macho Man.
yeah, Terry Bollea. Hulk Hogan. Number 2, what event held in 1985 at Madison Square Garden was the WWF's first ever WrestleMania?
No
Wait,
shit, really?
What? No.
I'm not kidding. I am not fucking kidding. I'm reading these questions verbatim.
Ding ding.
Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Let me repeat this question from ChatGPT. On the prompt I said was, give me 5 1980s wrestling trivia questions. Question number 2, what event held In 1985, at Madison Square Garden, was the WWF's first ever WrestleMania. Here are the options. A, the big event. 2, WrestleMania. C, Saturday night main event. Or D, SummerSlam.
Were the options 1, 2, C, and D?
No, it was A, B, C, and D. That's just me being an idiot.
I like that too.
No guesses again. D, WrestleMania.
I thought it was the big event.
I can't
could see
wait
it on the
to see what number 3 is. Here we go. Number 3. Which tag team was known for wearing face paint and coming from parts unknown? This is the Rockers, A, B, Demolition, C, the Bushwhackers, or D, the Road Warriors.
Ooh.
Actually, I'm not sure.
The Road Warriors.
I think it should be pointed out you pay for ChatGPT Premium, and this
That
is
is
what
true.
you get.
I do pay for it.
This is the quality you get.
To
I'm
be
gonna say
fair, I don't-
LOD. LOD was never known from parts unknown.
I'm going Demolition.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's got to be Demolition.
I don't know yet because the answers might be at the bottom. So, let's see. Oh wait, want the answers too?
So you're saying
Yeah.
number 2 still could be the big event?
It could be.
Imagine going to bar trivia in 20 years and it's all based on this bullshit.
All right. Answer number 3 was D, the Road Warriors.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting.
Build from parts and no. Okay.
Never heard
Number
that
4,
build.
Macho Man Randy Savage was famously managed by which valet during the late 1980s? A, Missy Hyatt, B, Sensational Sherry, C, Miss Elizabeth, or D, Sonny?
I mean, the late 1980s? How late are we talking? Because fucking Sherry Martel.
Listen, you can't ask Trebek those questions.
I like to imagine Macho Man had a very didn't die and had a very long career and ended up being managed by old drunk Sonny.
Yeah. Wanna see my pussy?
Yeah, just degenerate
say the
trailer park
pussy?
motel trash.
I'll show you my pussy for $5. It's
Number-
me, Sonny.
Take a
She
bite of
famously
it.
had a
Take a
photo
bite out
shoot.
of it.
Did you guys ever see that she did like a photo op with fans where you could lay in a bed with her?
That'd have been great.
Yeah,
She must have stunk.
Oh my God, yeah, it's just like sleeping in
in
a
all the
ashtray.
right ways.
Yeah.
Just a big pickle sticking out of her ass.
Oh, that's where that went.
Ah, Vlasic.
She is in prison, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
For killing a man.
So
Who?
I think
Man,
she's killed 2 people.
So when she
what
gets
a, what
out,
a
do you think
career
we can,
she's had.
think we can get her on the show when she gets out?
Maybe. She's gone from
It'll
For
cost
me-
$80.
from me jerking off to her to prison is a wild career. Anyway, the answer was C, Miss Elizabeth. Question number 5.
Bullshit.
Who was the first ever intercontinental champion crowned in a fictional tournament in Rio de Janeiro in 1979, but active through the 1980s? Was it A, Tito Santana, B, the Honka Tonka Man, C, Don Morocco, or D, Pat Patterson?
Mr. Pat Patterson.
Rio de Janeiro.
Rio de Janeiro.
I guess I'm going to go with A. I actually don't know the answer to this.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
I know
Pat
the
Patterson's
answer
the
to this
first IC champion of all time. Honky
Oh,
Tonk
really?
Man's the
Okay.
greatest intercontinental champion of all time.
Excuse
Will-
me. Hold on.
Will's correct.
I believe Gunther is the greatest of all time now.
Okay.
Yeah, but
It is Pat Patterson. And to wrap it up, I'm asking this to tell me a poop joke. And it says, why did the toilet paper roll go down the hill?
It was
says
on a
to
roll.
to get to the bottom? This sucks.
Be funnier.
Wait. Want one that's a little grosser or themed for kids? Or yeah, give me grosser. I'm going to say, give me the grossest one you can think of.
welcome to the last episodes of the Top 5 at Death.
Brought to you
Hey,
by...
to be fair, this didn't exist when we started, baby.
And the
All right,
show
let me
was
see
better.
The grossest one. All right, you asked for it. What's brown and sits at the bottom? Oh my God, this is so funny. What's brown and sits at the bottom of the shower?
What's that?
What?
A
The shit I
poopy
took?
A poopy loofah. I'm gonna say you fucking suck, Chappy.
No, be
you
nice to
fucking
ChatGPT.
suck.
It makes all of our YouTube cover art, which you can see by going to youtube.com/top5ofdeath.
Listen, linguistically, Poopy Loofah is very funny.
I guess so. I guess if
my
you were a robot.
6-year-old nephew said it.
Right. Poopy
Not
Loofah.
an amalgamation of the entire population.
That's right. ChatGPT
you know-
is like, I got all the jokes. So here's
I'm
the
going
best
to
one.
just in the background. I'm going to keep asking for more because every time he tells me one, it's like you want one even more twisted. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna get to one where it's just like, here's who killed John Benet Ramsey. I'm like, whoa.
You should get McGruff the crime dog on that one.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, let's just move on.
Yeah.
What did the constipated serial killer say after 3 days without a movement? If something doesn't come out soon, someone else will. I don't even understand
Yeah.
the joke.
Fantastic.
This feels like the
Okay.
joke the serial killer tells to you to confuse you before
Yeah.
they kill you.
Have you seen the poster for the new Naked Gun movie?
Yes.
It's pretty good. It says, no AI was used in the making of this poster, and he's holding a gun with like 14 fingers.
Yeah. Hold on. These are getting like absurd. And by that, I don't mean in a good way. What's worse than finding a hair in your soup? Getting halfway through and realizing it's not soup.
I like that.
I mean, it's not wrong.
Then what is it?
Rocks.
Hair.
Just
Hairy
Fish
rocks.
scales. Fish scales.
Oh, ChatGPT.
Oh God. All right, now I'm addicted to this. These are getting so. I just want to be like, next time it does, I'm gonna go explain why this is funny.
Who'd like to explain today's topic? ChatGPT, should you do it?
No, I gotta put this down. I'm gonna go into a rabbit hole or get
You're gonna get-
freaking flagged by the FBI.
Like I did last week.
You got flagged by the FBI?
I might as well be. I looked up several different presidential assassinations.
Oh yeah, you
And
shouldn't do
looking
that.
for the video and photos of them. So
Show me how it was done.
What about
I asked
McKinley?
ChatGPT to make me a art of Abraham Lincoln in his presidential booth before he was shot.
Show me the schematics of the booth.
Yes.
The booth.
Want the personal size and everything. So. Yeah. What is our topic this week?
Personal achievements, right?
We're doing top 5 personal achievements. Yes.
All right, here we go, baby. Finally, a topic I can sink my teeth into. What the fuck is this?
And,
Been all friggin'
Based
Thought we were
on
doing
our
boobs.
boobs. Based on what,
Ba-
Charles? Go ahead.
based on our pre-recording topic, Will, do you want to kick us off? Because you are just so, like you said, you're so humble. You don't want to talk about yourself.
Oh, yeah.
This is a
I
hard
don't.
list. for
I
you.
will kick us off. My number 5 is a simple one, and that's beating the crypto bubble back in 2021. I ended up paying for about half my wedding by making a shitload of money on cryptocurrency.
Nice.
And didn't get sunk out?
Sunk out?
Yeah.
Fuck does that mean?
I thought you were a crypto bro.
No, not really. But
Neither am I. I made it up.
I invested a few thousand. I ended up pulling out many more thousands. And
Come on.
when all the bills came for the wedding, I was like, oh, fuck. Charles, as you know, right now you're sending a check for $1,000 every other week to somebody,
That's very nice. Yeah.
at least. And by the way, Matt, of all times, you keep forgetting to say, Charles, is your wedding fully planned?
I know. Well, I figured I'm more concerned about the bachelor party and how many single room beds I have.
Not many.
Ooh.
Is there a
Gotta
bidding war?
Got to get there early. That's all I can tell you.
Let me get there early. I'm gonna get there. Fine, I'll leave now.
Hey,
Bye. I'll be back. I'll be back.
See ya.
home
wait
in-
outside. I got to send out an email to the people who are traveling to that because I don't know. Also,
They're sleeping outside.
y'all have to RSVP to my wedding by July 20th. Because I, for some reason, have to get a final head count 2 months before to my caterer.
Have I not done that? Oh, shit.
We got to start putting food in the freezer.
I don't deal with the mail, so.
Neither do I. So
Don't worry. You'll get everyone will get a text this week or next week being like, hey,
Yeah,
you haven't
perfect.
RSVP'd. Here's a link. I need you to do it by
Great.
the 20th or I'm not letting you in.
Oh,
Just
it's on
send
a
it to me
link?
now.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Also, try to stop me from getting into your wedding, Charles. I triple dog dare you.
Dude, I bought a suit I bought a stretchy, like, flexible suit. So I'm ready to go. And I have told my
That's
close
nice.
friends who are like, if people show up you don't want there, we will bounce them. I'm like, no, I'll do it. I'm spending money on this. You better believe I'm bouncing people out of my wedding who I don't want there.
Yeah, well,
So-
when I'm
On your
covered in oil and naked, good luck trying to grab me.
Are you trying to stop the wedding? Are you trying to entice me away from my
No,
future
I just
wife?
want to sit. I want to sit there comfortably and be a good attendant, naked, covered in oil, and not RSVP.
Just sliding off your seat slowly.
All
yeah.
greased up, looking like a pig, but the curly
yeah.
tails in the front.
So slimy.
Old duck dick Matt. But yeah,
call
making
it?
some money on crypto, that was one of my best achievements.
Oh, yeah.
I hit the gambling market and won.
What was
got
your
out
what
and,
was your top coin?
I bought like 3 coins of Ethereum at $200 and sold them for 16, and a bunch of Chainlink.
Nice.
Bunch of chain link fence. You just invested and kept in your backyard.
Chainlink the crypto. If you've been watching, actually, great time to get into Chainlink again.
I don't know.
It'll be doubling.
Do we need
in the
a
next year.
disclaimer on that as like not financial advice?
Yeah, not financial advice. I'm sorry.
advice.
Treat this as like Wall Street bets. Reddit.
I mean, if our top politicians can do it, we can do it too. We can influence the stock market.
This is what you call outsider trading, where we lose every time.
Hey, you pay for our Chat GPT premium. Can you just have it create us like a death coin, and we can just launch our own coin?
Yeah, probably.
Rug pull the fans. We could make like $40.
I would be shocked if we made $40. Shocked.
I'll just cover the Chat GPT for the month.
Yeah, that's good. It's $20. It's $20.
Anyway, who else is proud of themselves?
Who be it?
I'll go.
Charles. Here
I'll
we
talk
go.
about myself.
Here we go. Let's
Yeah.
hear it. Let's hear something good.
Yeah. I'm an Eagle Scout. I said it.
Nice.
I'm
Wow,
proud.
I can't believe you're getting married to a girl being an Eagle
Yeah.
Scout.
I'm an Eagle Scout. I started as a Tiger Cub all the way from the bottom, made it all the way to Eagle Scout.
Is
So-
Eagle Scout the top?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's top of the now Scouting of America, I think is what it is. It's no longer Boy Scouts of America.
Yeah. What are your thoughts
And-
on that?
And I will say quickly, and I made it without being molested. So
Yeah, because you're ugly.
You got
yeah,
cheated.
I was a fat child, so yes.
Yeah, no one's gonna touch the pig boy.
Yeah. No. What are my thoughts on that? I don't really give a shit. They were talking about this. They were talking about that a couple years ago. So in Boy Scouts scouting at the time, when you would get to like when you were getting older, you would be doing like high adventure, which are like the longer backpacking trips. The main ones you can go to, there's a couple. There was Sea Base, which is down in the Keys. You could do an out island adventure where you stay on a island for a week. You could go below zero camping up in Minnesota. I've done all 3 of these.
Jesus.
And then you could go to Philmont, which is down in New Mexico, and you could hike upwards of, I think, 3 weeks was the longest trip you could take. At these different places, though, since they're high adventure troops were intergender because they included the Girl Scouts. So this was nothing new for me.
Right.
I think it's great. Who cares? I think it's stupid that they're separated troops. In my opinion, I think, but because they're worried about like, oh, the girls will take over the leadership roles. It's like, no one gives a shit. So yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's lame. Now it's like Scouting of America because I had to update my resume, which I carry on my resume. It says Eagle Scout, which
You should.
it's been mentioned several times in interviews. Like, oh, you're an Eagle Scout. I am too. Like this is why you carry it. So
So what skill do you think that you have learned from the Scouts that you find most people don't have?
Most people do not know how to load a backpack. Most people just
The laptop goes in
Roll
the
up a
back.
tent.
that, and also a lot of people don't know how to set up tents. But I am very good at backpacking and camping. I cannot tie knots at all. It's one thing wasn't good at. But yeah, a lot of people don't know. If you were to like go backpacking on a weekend trip with friends, I guarantee you like if we were all four of us were to do it, I'd probably have to correct probably most of your packs, because some people just throw all their shit in, and so then all your weight's at the bottom of your pack.
I pay for premium ChatGPT. I'll just have it tell me how to do it, and then it'll tell me,
Yeah.
put the backpack in the backpack. I go, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Matt will get a Sherpa in from Mount Everest to travel
Hell
like
yeah.
a quarter mile into the White Mountains.
Hell yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
No, but Charles, I'm not going to... Eagle Scout, that's quite the honor. Very respectable thing to have. It shows that you kind of were raised right. At least a portion.
Yep. That's how I became a good boy.
I was in the Scouts for a bit. I didn't stick with it because it was a bunch of weirdos like you.
Oh my God.
I didn't enjoy it, but
I have met
the whole
there are
program I think is great. And women, boys, whatever. The Scouts
Yeah.
should be for anyone.
I have
Sorry.
I have come across several people who definitely peaked in Boy Scouts, and it's really sad. Because there's a life
Those
outside
are the
of it.
counselors.
Actually, a lot of them were counselors. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, should have kept the Boy Scouts the Boy Scouts. I think girls. So actually, here's a question.
I was
something
in the
I didn't
Girl
know.
Scouts.
Yeah, I know, Will. Anyway, so when you said that on the high adventure things, there were.
Yeah.
So what? My understanding of that whole topic was there wasn't an equivalent option for girls
So
of the same thing. But you're saying that at the high adventure point, it would be intergender because there already was that.
no, there can be. The problem with it, like a lot of Girl Scout troops, because it happened in our area, was that a lot of them just go and do the cookie sales. A lot of them don't go out and do like backpacking trips, camping trips. They just do the basic easy shit. They don't go and hit the next level. But there's also a hard retention to get girls to like. I can't even tell you what the top level of a Girl Scout is. I honestly don't know what their
I think it's
number.
the Amazon position.
The Amazon position? Okay.
Snoo snoo.
So, yeah, those snoo snoo.
Yeah.
So how do they get to the high adventure
It just
thing?
depends on who's in charge of the troops.
Of the
it
Girl
happen-
Scouts troops?
Yes, of those individual ones. This happens actually. I've had to help my dad with it. My dad trains adult leaders for scouting. Like that's what he does now with his spare time. And I've had to go with him to different troops that with they are even in the Boy Scout troops. They are not going on camping trips because they're trying to like appease the worrisome parents who don't want their kids going out on like harder things. So then they
Yeah.
just don't go and do stuff. Like they go to like a local campground and that's it. They don't learn anything. They just get by, and then their numbers slowly dwindle down, and the troops die off.
So it seems like the trajectory is that it's getting to be worse.
I think with the inclusion of the Girl Scouts, so like scouting in general with boys and girls, I think it's actually getting better because we've had actually, I think there is one or two girls who have become an Eagle Scout and a top level in the Girl Scouts. They've done that as well, but a couple years ago we did have our first female Eagle Scout, so I was like, damn, good for them. It's getting better. So
It's awesome.
you just don't get cookies out of it.
That's fine. I think the Girl Scouts should have all those things. It sounds like they could have. It just sounds like
can.
they just didn't.
It just depends on who's in charge.
And it seems
it's a
like
whole thing.
the Boy Scouts suffer from the same exact potential
yes.
lack of leadership. They would also not thrive the way that good Boy Scout leaders and troop management would do, the same
Yes.
way good Girl Scout. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. The only reason my dad trains adult leaders is because that's what happened to him growing up, they never had consistent leadership, so he never made it to an Eagle Scout. So that's why he pushed me like so hard to become one.
So your dad being a trainer, like, what is the training material? Does he just kind of like go around the guys and be like, don't touch him. No, don't touch him.
Sadly, they do have to do that.
Don't touch him. Just don't touch him.
So he trains them. He trains them on backcountry leadership. So it's like, taking the kids like hiking, stuff like that. And I honestly don't know because I've never gone to do those because I don't have a kid and I don't want to be that weird adult who's like trained to go interact with children. So haven't done it. But yeah.
Send
Despite
your
all the
kids with this
jokes.
childless man.
Yeah.
I think being an Eagle Scout is pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
I think it's cool too.
Also,
I think it's fine.
damn it, Sam.
Harsh words.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I feel like there was a lot of those random skills that I like did not develop like as a child, like outdoorsy stuff, how to start a fire, how to tie my shoe the right way, shit like that.
Sam and his Velcro shoes.
Forever with the Velcro shoes. Yep.
There you go. Okay. You want to go, Sam? You want me to go?
I'll go.
Okay.
All right. My number 5 is teaching for Kelby 1.
Oh,
So-
he's getting paid out of this right here.
Who?
All right. So when I was working at Apple, I was starting to get into photography, and my boss there was like, "Oh, you gotta check out this guy, Scott Kelby. His books, like he's got like the best how-to books on photography." And I read them. I was like, "Oh yeah, no, these are great." And then I realized like, "Oh, this guy like has this whole huge learning thing," and it's like, "Oh, you can go see him live in a seminar, and he hosts Photoshop World, so this big conference that happens and all that shit." So I went from not knowing much about photography to learning a bunch, and then to eventually developing a relationship with them and teaching for them, which was pretty cool that that I've gotten to like hang out with Scott and like, from like in a business way and in a social way. And I gave him a guitar lesson once. But like, but yeah, it was cool. It was like, oh, they want to know what I know now. You know what I mean? Like, so it's come weirdly full circle, and I've been able to give a couple classes for them. And I could potentially do more in the future. I've just been way too fucking busy, but they're super cool. They have a huge, student base, and a lot of those weird people know who I am, which is bizarre to me. When people would come and be like, "I took your class and I learned how to do blah blah blah." I'm like, "Oh, crazy! I didn't know that went out to anyone. I didn't know anyone saw that."
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, if
Does
you
a lot
want,
of
if you want to.
football?
Oh yeah, he's a big sports photographer guy. But yeah, if you want to learn some weird photography stuff from me, you can go to kelby1.com, and I'm one of their instructors.
Wow.
Hi, I'm Sam. This is the best way to take a photograph of your own asshole.
Assume this position.
Yeah. You would think it's a mirror, but it's not. It's actually the upside end of a pickle jar. And that's where you get the best reflection.
It's
One
actually
Sam, one
2
jar.
mirrors. Yeah. So, yeah. Teaching for Kelby 1. That's my number 5.
All
That's
right.
pretty cool.
It's pretty
He's got
sweet.
a great picture of some, what I assume are Marines at a helicopter.
Yeah. He's a great photographer, and he's a great teacher. Super cool guy. And, yeah. It was a good feeling that he put some trust in me to, like, be a part of the company, even if it's just for a few classes. And I still get a residual check for my classes, which is
Oh,
cool.
wow.
Yeah.
Look at all this money being made. Money, money, money. Money, money.
Yeah, you're gonna steal from an Alabama Scholastic Fund,
There you go.
whatever Dave Assey did.
Nice.
They
All right.
weren't even using the money.
Virgil goes to jail for it.
All right. Let's see here. I'm gonna just lump in. That's my number 5. I'm gonna lump in basically my improv career, I guess I would say, because there's a few things about it that I am proud of that I don't really get to detail out on the show, specifically just how it was. But it would make a lot of sense now once I explain it to you. For those who've been listening for a while and know exactly who and how I am as a person. But so for my improv career, right? I was in bands. I stopped being in bands, and then I was like itching to kind of perform in some capacity. And I just started listening to podcasts at that time, and I was listening to You Made It Weird with Pete Holmes, and he would have comedians on all the time, and they always talked about how they would get into comedy, and I was like, man, I want to do comedy, but I don't like to write. That was the other part of those podcasts that they'd be like, they're writing, like, I don't want to write. I was like, I like to just kind of go. So I was like, I'm gonna take an improv class. I had nothing really going on. It was like a weird time in my life where I really wasn't doing almost anything. So I signed up for an improv class, just like a Improv Boston 101 class. Before the 101 class, I saw that they had free drop-in classes, so I went and I did one of those. And if you take the drop-in class, you could take your same ticket for that class and go to a show later that evening. It's like on a Sunday, right? It's just like the Sunday shows. And that Sunday show was like the main stage cast. I was like, oh, okay, I'll go check it out. I'd never been to an improv show at all at that point. I knew improv as much as a very casual person, and that was like, whose line is it anyway? So I went to the class. I was like, oh, this is fun. Very simple intro class, whatever. It was interesting. The group of people, old people, young people, people who barely spoke English. And then I went to the show, saw the show, and I won't forget it because I saw it and I was like, this is so awesome. I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be there. So my 101 class started the following week, started 101. At that time, there were 6 levels of classes. So I did they're all 8-week courses, finished 101, I went to 201, and then when I was in 301, a new improv show was coming to Boston. There was a new franchise of Comedy Sports Boston. So Comedy Sports is a national show. It's all over the place. Jason Alexander is an alum of Comedy Sports. The dude who played Jason Voorhees in the newest Friday the 13th, he actually is an alum of Comedy Sports. I've actually seen his YouTube videos, and it's crazy because he's a giant guy, but he's actually very funny in it. But someone bought a franchise. They were opening up in Boston. I went and auditioned, even though I was only in 301. I got cast on the inaugural Comedy Sports Boston show, which still exists. It's still happening. So I was on the first run of that. I was the first, because like it's like a sports theme thing, and they have like referees, and the referees are kind of like the hosts of the show. I was the first Comedy Sports Boston host referee. So then I finished the classes, went to 601. Improv Boston, the house teams, they do auditions 2 times a year. Every 6 months, they do a house show audition. As soon as I finished classes, I did my first audition. I got a call back for 2 shows. I got a call back for Family Show and another show, and I got cast on Family Show. It was like their kids show. It's on Saturdays. I did 1 year of Family Show, and while Family Show was going on, they added a 701 class that was invite only. I got invited to that. Did the 701 class, which is like they taught the very specific all form improv that Improv Boston did that class. After 1 year, so I went to auditions again, because you have to go every 6 months. So this would be like my third round of auditions, I guess. The second round of auditions, I got basically the same callbacks. Third round, I got a callback to every show that they had. Every show that Improv Boston had, I had a callback for. I did the callbacks. After the callbacks, I had a meeting with the artistic director. The artistic director said, you can pick any show you want to do. I said, cool, I'll do all of them, is what I told him. And he said, no. I said, why? He said, well, some of their rehearsals conflict, and we can't. I said, okay. He said, you can pick two. I said, okay. I'll stay on Family Show, and I'll do main stage. So within 1 year, from nothing to basically within 2 years going from no experience to main stage at Improv Boston. And still on the inaugural cast for Comedy Sports the whole time, and on Family Show. After the first season of main stage, they introduced a new show at Improv Boston called All Access. I got on the inaugural cast of that. I was just doing it at that point, basically full time. Only paid cast as main stage. I was doing that. I started to teach. I was one of only 3 people who were given a thumbs up to teach the 701 class. I also wrote the curriculum for the short form class at Improv Boston. That was my whole thing. And it was, I don't know, I'm very proud of it because I remember going to that drop-in class, hanging out with people that have been doing improv for years and just asking them questions, this, that, and the other thing. And then I just torched by people so fast. And again, it makes sense when people know how I am, and I just go cuckoo bananas, and I like to be competitive and successful. And yeah, so I'm pretty proud of the improv career that I had. I taught a lot of people, and a lot of great memories, and it was a good time, and I do miss it. And yeah, I don't know. It was just like a very open and shut couple years of my life.
I can see it now. You bullying your way up the ranks by saying,
Oh
well,
my
no,
God.
if you don't think that's funny, debate me on it. We'll just debate right now. Do it in front of everyone.
And I could prove.
What are you hiding? Why are you hiding?
I could prove that I was funny every single time. I won every debate. And then they said we have no choice but to put him on every cast. He has debated us into every corner. We have no recourse here.
That's very cool. All right, I have so many questions. Was it difficult on the family show to keep it PG?
That's a question I got all the time. It's really not, because like when
Matt's
you're in
good
the
at this.
room, when you're in the room with like kids and families, you just don't think like that. You know what I mean?
Code
like
switch.
pretty much, yeah. It was fun. It was fun to like lob things over kids' heads for parents. Like one time, we asked for a location, and some kid was just like, they said like Compton, and we were like, all like the parents laughed, and the kids like didn't
boy.
like get it. We were like, okay, so we would just be like in Compton, and it'd be like this, like like you know, the whole point is like how sunny and bright and great it is, and nothing ever goes wrong in Compton, and it's the safest place to be. But yeah, no, it was never a problem for me. Some people, they would turn down the show because they were afraid they wouldn't be able to control themselves. But like I said, when you're in the room, it's like a whole row full of kids. I'm not going to be like, yeah, fuck. So
Let's hear one of your Compton jokes as if there were no kids in the audience.
as if there were no kids in the audience.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, first of all, you don't tell jokes, but I would just probably be like, I would make a whole scene about constantly crossing the street so I didn't have to walk past a black person.
Brilliant.
That would be it'd be a one-man silent thing of just me constantly going back and forth from both sides because there's so many black people and I can't go past any of them.
Keep looking at your watch. You're running late.
Okay.
We did a day working at a shelter in Compton years ago, and it was the only time ever that I've had to brush needles out of a spot that we wanted to put a dog in.
Safe as safe can be.
Yes.
Also, hit me.
Was there any one particular joke or moment that you can remember that just broke the whole show?
Yes, I do. This is a particularly proud moment for me. I was big on like silent scene work and like mime and like a lot of physicality. I loved it. It was like my favorite thing to do. And I ended a main stage show where the scene was taking place in a public bathroom, and I was just existing in the public bathroom while my other scene partners were like doing their scene or whatever. And then they left and I didn't leave. I continued to be in the bathroom. And then the show was like wrapping up, and I'll never forget this because like I give a lot of props to my scene, like my cast on that show, because they just gave me the space and time to create something by myself. And basically I just started to dance in the public bathroom, and I'm very good at like object permanence. So I would set things up visually on the stage and I would keep returning to them correctly. Right. So they would like be there. And I'll never forget as I kept dancing, I needed to like heighten it. Right. So I need to like do something to make this worth the while. So I started to destroy the bathroom while I was dancing and like interact with everything and have like water spray on me and all the stuff and like wipe my face. And I'll never forget that for the end, I grabbed a toilet seat and like I pried it off the bowl, right? I pried it off the bowl, and then I just like held it up and I looked, and then I like looked at the audience and I just like was looking at it, and I put the invisible toilet seat around my neck and then just started swinging the toilet seat, and then like it just got this huge laugh and like it blacked out. It ended the show. And that was like a very fun moment for me because it was like a 3-minute scene of just me not talking and just mime working the whole stage. So it was sick.
Very cool.
But yeah.
I do regret, number 5. Matt, I never got to see you out there. I always wanted to. We were a little bit distant during that time. You invited us to your last show, Justin and I regret that we didn't make it out there.
Did Justin never come? I feel like he came
he
to
might
one.
have. I don't know, but yeah, I didn't.
That's okay. You
know,
I
always wanted to.
I'll come to your house to do a show for free.
August 2nd. You're all invited.
Great.
I sent the Facebook invite.
I got it. I got it. But that's my number 5. Just my improv career in general. So,
very cool.
Will, back to you.
Back to me. Going back to lesser achievements. That time that I won the back-to-back beer pong championship at Wally's in Hampton Beach, New Hampshire. I know it's fucking... I've talked about it a little bit before, but man, what a fucking couple of weeks that was. It was in the prime of my drinking days. Beaten 1 out of, I think the first week was 72 teams, and the second week was 74 teams.
Damn. That's actually a lot.
That's so many people.
And we went back to back. In the third week, we were in the semifinals, but I ended up just like disappearing on my partner, who almost won it on his own. Could have been a triple, but back to back. The second week, I'll never forget that it went so late in the night that they kicked everyone out because it was last call and state ordinance and all that bullshit. But they let all of the local friends stay, who were not friends of mine or my partner. So they just had like 40 people cheering against us the whole time. Really laying into us, making us feel very uncomfortable, like we were going to die if we left there with the championship.
Did you have a team name?
Our team name, so for the first week, our team name was the Shit Talkers. Mm-hmm. Not the best name, but obviously there was a reason for that. Our team name the second week was the reigning champion Shit Talkers, so they had to say that every time we were announced. And yeah, at the end, it got pretty intense. It was a little over $1,000 on the line each week. And the second week was very aggressive. We were doing our best shit talking. People were getting mad, and we ended up winning in dramatic fashion. And I looked at my friend Murph and I said, "We got to get the fuck out of here right now because all of these people who've been hating us for the last hour know that we have $1,200 in our pocket."
Get him.
So it was a good time, and we did leave there as champions twice in a row. Should have been 3 times, but it was my own fault. And I think one of those nights we actually like spun out on the highway at like 80 miles an hour, and it was scary. Not me driving.
What did you spend your winnings on?
More beer. This was
$1,200 worth of beer, please.
More practice.
That's 1,500 PBRs.
Oh my God.
Oof.
No, but it was the whole thing, and for years and years afterwards, I'd just be walking down the street or be at a bar, and someone would go, "Hey, you're one of those guys from the Shit Talkers." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." Really happened a lot more than you would think. So I became a little bit of a local hero based on my beer pong skills, taking it from house parties, winning $20-$40 to pay for the next case, and then upping it up at Wally's, the biker bar up at Hampton Beach.
Hell yeah.
World famous.
Wally's Pub. Yep.
Yes.
Very cool. I've still
you
never
go.
had beer.
You're not missing much.
No worry. Just a check-in from last week where I talked about never having beer. As
No
of this
beer.
week, still never had
Don't know
beer.
beer.
We'll find out next week.
Just gin for you?
Yeah, just gin.
Keeps you strong, virile.
Just nail polish remover, please.
Oh,
Like a real man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever see that old Vine where he's like, "Oh, you mind if I get a drink of water?" And he's like, "Oh, it's not water." He's like, "Ah, vodka, cool, I'll take that." He goes, "It's vinegar." He's like, "What? It's vinegar, pussy." Drinking vinegar.
Yeah.
All right, Charles.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
My number 4 is that I guess I don't know how to phrase this anymore, but I at one point was a 2nd degree black belt in Taekwondo. I have to say at one point because I'm not currently practicing anymore, so I don't think I can technically say I'm a 2nd degree black belt in Taekwondo.
Does it expire?
That's a good question.
No,
Like
I
a
have the
certification.
belt. I have,
Yeah.
but yeah, it took me like 13, 14 years to become I think it took 12 to get to 1st degree and then 2 more years to get the 2nd degree black belt. So I spent a long time. It was about the same length I was in the Boy Scouts, to be honest. It was about the same time.
Man, no time for nothing with that.
No, man, I was not slaying pussy in high school. I was learning knots and kicking ass.
Got to learn how to tie that black belt.
Yeah, I gotta learn how to tie that black belt. So, but yeah, it was. Any questions?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Were
Sam.
you also inspired by 3 ninjas to start karate?
I can tell you
Tum-tum.
this. I don't know if either I don't remember it or I've never seen 3 Ninjas.
What a liar. How did you know Taekwondo then?
Because I was bad at team sports
Surf
and my
ninjas.
parents put me into karate. So
is Taekwondo the one where you just make like stupid like moves with your hands?
That's Tai Chi.
no,
That's
that's
Tai
Oh, Tai Chi. Okay.
Tai Chi is the slow moving one that
Yes.
old people do in the park
Mm-hmm.
or their joints.
But the
Taekwondo and
joints.
karate are very similar. Karate is more kick based. Taekwondo can have more punching and then you also have to learn your forms and certain moves and stuff like that. So
So if anybody came up to you and was like, "I'm gonna hit you with this board," you'd be like, "No, you won't."
yeah, chop right. I mean, that was actually one of the The amount of people I saw testing for black belt, you actually have to. Was it black belt? Yeah, black belt. You had to punch through a wooden board. Was one of the breaks you had to do, and I saw several people dislocate their knuckles.
No.
So that's always encouraging as a youth.
Because they're not doing it right. Is that correct?
Yeah, most likely. Yeah, you're not supposed to punch with these knuckles. You're supposed to punch with these ones, which is why I definitely learned that lesson. And this is the only bone I've ever broken.
Oh.
So I dislocated this knuckle and had my friends reset it. It's not reset properly. It was down here. I should have went to the hospital.
Man, does your fiance know you have ugly knuckles?
She'll know when she goes to put the ring on during the ceremony.
Yeah,
She goes,
it's too late now.
oh no, what happened? No.
But yeah, karate was fun. I actually do miss like parts of it. I loved sparring. Like that was one of the things because
Yeah, because you got those long fucking appendages. No one could even get close to you, you freak.
I've kicked people's heads off. That being said, the one thing like I learned from Taekwondo was I'm as I say, I'm 2-0 in the streets. I've only ever been in two actual fights. I've won both, and the reason why I've only ever been in two fights is because the one thing I took away from Taekwondo was you don't need to fight.
Just need to kill.
Yeah. It's basically taught me to be responsible and not engage in that type of behavior. Sadly, those 2 times I got in a fight, I was also drunk. So, but
I'll show you how to kiss my wife.
One of my favorite fight stories is yours, Matt, when this guy cold cocked you from behind. And then
from behind when I was walking out of the Extra Mart.
Wallet. And Matt turned her and looked at him, and then, I don't know, according to you, beat the shit out of him.
I hit him once and then once more, and then that was kind of it. But yeah, he was wearing friggin' the parachute pants. I heard someone running up behind me.
MC Hammer?
I was
Hammer.
watching. Yeah, I know. I was like, is that MC Hammer? I was watching Will's house at the time, and it was late, and I was hungry, so I went to go get some ice cream. I got Americone ice cream, and then I was leaving the Extra Mart in Lafayette Square Hero.
You walked there?
No, I just parked on the side. And then I was leaving, and this dude, like I said, just ran up. And when he got close, when the sound got close, I just put my shoulders down or whatever, not just whatever. And then he took a swing at me and just kind of grazed the back of my head, and I kind of fell a little bit forward, and I looked back, and like Will said, he just had his hands up, and he goes, wallet. And I could see both his hands, and there were just nothing in them. So I was already in a crouched position, so I just came back up and hit him. And then he fell. Yeah, basically. And then he fell, and I hit him once more. And then he was put his hands up, he was like, stop. And I was like,
should have said,
I was just
wallet.
I know. He didn't have one, obviously. He needed a wallet. He didn't want the money. He just needed the wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, he got up and ran off. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, who does that? I wasn't some old man. I was a 27-year-old friggin' dude with tattoos.
Well, from behind, you look old.
Behind us too. He's like, this guy's old. I was like, no, it's just my ass.
Look at his posture.
I was like,
and his hairline.
scoliosis.
Was this around the knockout game time? So they were just
No,
hoping
no,
way
they just
before
hoping
that.
to
This is
clean
way
knock you
before.
out the first time, the first try.
No. And you know what's funny? The only time I've been knocked out is when I got punched in the back of the head. Maybe it's my little button back there. So I dodged a bullet there. That would have sucked. That would have sucked if I got knocked out. He would have
Wake
took
him
my
on the
wallet, which
sidewalk.
had nothing in it.
He would have just taken your ice cream.
That's
would
true.
have been, or would have been melted on the sidewalk.
Yeah. That sucks. I hate falling on the pavement. But anyway.
Sounds bad.
Yeah.
Charles, when you sparred, did you have a special move?
Ooh.
Spinning hook kick.
Spinning hook kick? Okay.
That and
Crow cop over here.
yeah. That and left leg forward, I can actually roundhouse kick really high, which is unexpected for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
If you tried that on me, I'd hit you right in the sack.
I would hope so, because honestly,
With
that's a
his
great
mouth.
move. And I was hitting the sack several times in competition. Awful. Ooh, a sack.
Yeah. I was a third degree brown belts in Kenpo karate.
Kenpo. How did you? I didn't even know there was a third degree belt, like brown belt.
It's
Brown belt.
literally the one before black belt, and I was like, fuck this, I don't have time anymore.
This is a problem. Like I found out about karate because I heard someone else listing them off on a show because they were a black belt and they were saying the belt progression. There's no unified belt progression. It's just kind of whatever the schools want to do.
Totally.
Like, oh, okay.
That belt's actually another $200.
Yes.
So thank you.
There are schools like that. Yeah.
Nice.
I will say the most embarrassing thing that happened to me in karate was one girl got the wind knocked out of her like a couple weeks before in sparring, and then I was the person who got to, like, when she came back to like sparring full time, I got to be like, I paired up with her. She side kicked me right in the sternum, hit me into the wall, and knocked the wind out of me. The teachers laughed about it, and they picked me up. They're like, "Yeah, sorry about that." She was a little pissed, and I was like, "I wasn't the one who did it." But like,
Charles,
just like
you should have beat the fuck out of her.
Just go rage.
Yeah.
for my secondary black belt, they used that against me because I actually didn't like fighting women. So for secondary black belt testing, they would do different types of sparring. A lot of times they would keep throwing people at you for like 10 minutes at a time. They had me fight 3 women at the same time in sparring, and I was like, this is my worst nightmare.
I think I saw that on Instagram recently.
Yeah, I paid $11.99 for that video.
Yeah. So I used a lot of defensive backup, like you just get out of the way, get out of the way.
Just in case in real life you ever have to fight 3 women.
At my wedding.
Yeah,
All your
there you go.
ex-girlfriends.
All my yes.
Yeah.
So
In order to marry Jess, you have to fight all your ex-girlfriends.
all of my ex Yeah.
Like
Have
a
y'all
Mortal
ever asked?
Kombat thing of villains
Yeah.
just
y'all
at the
ever-
top.
Have y'all ever asked your significant others, like, if there was a Scott Pilgrim situation, if they could defeat your exes? Because I
think
asked
that would
Jess,
just
and
be asking for an argument.
I asked Jess, and she was like, "You could beat up all my exes easily." And I was like, "Do you think I'd enjoy it?" She was like, "Probably." And I was like, "Oh, that says a weird thing."
Probably
about
because she
me."
only dated octogenarians because she's a gold digger.
Oh, she hit the gold mine with me. Clearly, that's why we can only afford this 2-bedroom apartment.
And
Two
one
bedroom
of the
apartment's no joke these days.
No shit.
one of the first
We're afraid
couple of
to move.
years with Rosa, she called me. I was up visiting my dad at his camp in Ossipee, and I want to say it was like St. Patrick's Day weekend or something. And she calls me all fired up because Rosa ended up in a bar fight and choked a girl.
My God.
And got kicked out of one of our like favorite with the bartenders. Like, they know us, like we're friendly, we've been there a lot, and they kicked her out. And I'm like, man, for you to get kicked out of there, you must have been fucking serious. And she's like, yeah, well, the bitch, she tried to push the table into me, and then Rosa just went and double choked her.
Oh my God.
Gave her a space monkey.
Fantastic.
I like to say, yeah, you remember that time you choked a girl to death?
Man, now I want to fight someone.
No, you don't. It's fucking
No, you don't.
awful.
Not at our age. Avoid it at all
No.
costs.
I'm
Damn.
fine. If three women try to attack me, Rosa will take out at least a couple, and I can handle the rest.
And then they'd be like, help us fight these 2 women. And Will's like, I'm a man.
Oh man, damn it.
Let's fight naked.
Well,
Yep.
Up.
damn.
Oh,
Yeah.
I am.
My number 4 is a deadlifting 405 pounds.
Damn.
You know what? That's pretty big. I have not gotten that number, and I don't know if I ever will.
I don't think I'll ever do it again, but it's just a cool thing that you can like change your body to make it do things that it couldn't do before. Like if you have like a truck or something and it's like a 200 horsepower truck. Is that like a lot of horsepowers? I don't know. No.
Not anymore.
200 isn't a lot.
Maybe in the 90s.
All right, say it's a 500 horsepower truck.
Sure.
It will never be a 501 horsepower truck. You know what I mean? It can never do that. But like your human body at one point can not do this thing. And then if you will yourself into the right way and eat the right things and do the right things leading up to it, you can now do the thing you couldn't do, which I thought was cool. I was a wicked, like, skinny fat kid, like, growing up. I was husky. I had husky genes growing up, and then I was skinny. Yeah. And then in my early 20s, I was skinny with like a little paunch in the front, and I was just like, I want to work out. And then I did, and I do it every day. I go to the gym every day, and I eat super clean so that I can do these types of things, and I set goals, and then I meet the goals.
I destroy the goals.
And then I destroy them.
And then I set more goals, and I destroy them as well.
But I liked keeping track of my workouts in like a notebook and like looking back and being like, oh, 3 years ago, I could do this. Now I can do this. And like, oh, there's an actual difference there. Now, will my bones break and my tendons fall apart?
Yeah.
Probably.
More than likely.
But my big goal was being able to deadlift 405 because I weigh 150 pounds. And that's...
Jesus Christ.
When 150 pounds now?
Now I'm a little bit slimmer than I was. I lost 20 pounds this year too. So I'm probably 151 or 2.
Christ,
like that.
dude, I am 50 pounds heavier than you.
Did you take a pee and a poop?
the size of my turds. But yeah, I don't know. I was I think 175 when I deadlifted 405, but I was like, I know I need to gain minimum 20 pounds in order to do this. So I don't know. There's just a lot of discipline and a lot of like
milk,
a lot of milk. And it's remarkable to lift like 385 or 395 and be like, it's only this much more to get to where I want to be, but it's a fucking world apart. And it took me, I don't know, 6 months to get from 395 to 405.
I mean, I did 385 last year, and I was like, okay, that went up pretty easily. So I added 5 pounds to hit 390. No, it got an inch off the ground. I was like, well, that's it. That's all. And I've never gotten anywhere close to 385, mainly because I've stopped strict deadlifting. So
yeah. If you work on it every day, I mean, not every day, but like, consistently, like you can do that shit. But I did it. I felt good about it. And now I'll never do it again.
My hips will not allow me to do it.
No. So. The potential for injuring myself is tremendous.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yes.
I never really worked out on a regular basis, but I used to. Shut the fuck up. I used to work my ass off all the time on a daily basis, like wearing Tyvek suits and doing heavy labor 10 hours a day. And there was a time when there was this pipe. It was like probably 5 feet tall and maybe 18 inches in diameter. Weighed 260 pounds. And
a weird brag about your dick, but okay.
It was a pipe. And I picked it, and I got down low, picked it up, put it on my shoulder, and carried it where it needed to go, even though I should have just went and got a material lift. And I put it down, and I was so proud of myself for that. And the safety guy comes over. He goes, Why did you just
fired?
You're fired.
I go, I wanted to see if I could. And that was probably like I maxed out just putting this thing on one shoulder and carrying it, 50 feet to where it needed to go. Because I was too lazy to go get the lift.
Work strength is crazy. Because you see dudes, you see skinny motherfuckers who are shredded, but they're real skinny.
Or fat motherfuckers.
Or fat. Yeah, but like when you see like a skinny motherfucker like grab like a full sheet of 1-inch plywood with like their index finger and thumb and just pick it up onto like a roof, you're like, what the fuck? I hear you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'm turning 40 at the end of the summer, August 29th. Everyone put it on your calendars. My goal is to be in the best shape of my entire life for that day.
So
I say that. I say that every day.
In 6 days, you should lift 406.
406.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. You can do that.
So you're on cycle now, is what you're saying.
Oh my god. I had a guitar student once try to sell me steroids, and I was like, "No, it's okay, man. I appreciate that."
It's like, no, fucking take them.
Was he big at all, or is he just real small?
No, he was just a drug dealer.
Oh, okay.
But he was also like taking guitar lessons from me.
Interesting.
Just a drug dealer.
You show me an F chord, man, and I'll fucking boost you to the moon.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Who's up? Me?
You.
Me. Okay. We'll go with this one. I'd say the fourth thing that is a personal achievement of mine is my haunted house career. Another thing that, again, some people do as a hobby, and I take it too far. So, yeah. So, I just the quick rundown is when I lived on 8th Ave. Shout out to 8th Ave. Will, do you remember this?
8th
You remember
Ave?
DJ Leathers?
Yeah. Actually, I worked with him.
Is that someone's name? Or
It is someone's name.
DJ Leathers.
You remember the clothes we wore, DJ Leathers?
His dad
they were
was
leather
a scumbag.
chaps. Yeah, his dad was a scumbag. But before they lived there, the people that lived in that house before them was like another family. But they did a home haunt. They were actually really, really cool. They did a home haunt. And when I was like 10 or 11, it was like when I first moved there. And we were like outside playing as we did, and like the guy came up and was like, "Hey, we're gonna be doing like a haunted house at my house, and if you guys like want to help act in it, you're more than welcome to." And like he went and like talked to like our parents, and they were like, "Yeah, if they want to go do that, that's fine." And I loved it. It was so fucking awesome. I loved scaring people. In his hallway, in one of his hallways, he put up just like black trash bags, basically, and like made like a skinny hallway with like slits in them, and like you would stick your hand out and scare people as they came through. And that's what I did, and man, it was like the fucking best. And that's where I was like, I want to do this like all the time. That was like only like 10 or 12. So fast forward till like I don't really even do much of it. I do it like here and there, where I like when I can volunteer at like local like haunted houses, but I don't like. Other than that, that was like kind of it. And then, in like my early 20s, I met I met like a whole new group of friends, and that's where I met Ken, my current best friend, because the new group of friends would volunteer and work and help build their local haunted house, and I was like, ooh, I want to do that. Can I come? So I went, and then like I met Ken, and then I just started going there all the time, and I would start building stuff, and then that was like kind of it. So now, and then the first year I was there was the last year that the previous management was there. So then they left, and then Ken was the manager, and I helped Ken. Like I got real close with Ken, and we kind of like just took that place and we ran with it, and we did real well. We did real well at this very small community haunted house. We were on haunt tours list. We would have like people would like sign up for these like New England haunt tours, and they would get on a bus and they would go from different haunt to different haunt, and we were on that list. It was like us, small community haunted house with like a budget of $5,000 a year, and then like also would be like Spooky World and like these real pro places. But people came. We just a labor of love. We put so much into that place, and then it closed down. So what happened there was this. You guys remember the Station nightclub fire in Rhode Island?
Oh yeah.
Jesus, Great White.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Changed everything. All of the code got wildly changed. So in order for us to continue doing the haunted house there, we would have had to put a sprinkler system in the house. and it was like owned by the town. The town said we're not. It was like a $17,000 upfront cost. They said no, and that was the end of that place. So me and Ken were like, all right, well, what do we do? And we're like, I don't know. We could basically, at that point, we knew everyone in the area, and we could write our own ticket to go to like whatever haunted house we wanted to go to. We could have went to Nightmare New England before it was Spooky World. And we could have went to a few other places, but there was a place that we hated. We actively hated this place, Witch's Woods in Westford, Massachusetts.
Been there.
Yeah, we hated that place because it was so fucking bad. But we had the most room for impact there, and it was like, and it was a really big park, and they did a lot of people. Regardless of how shitty it was, people went, and they went all the time. And it was like it's tied for like the biggest screen park in New England. It's huge. So we went there, and we went there just to help build. I actually worked for free my first year because Ken knew people that were already there, and they hired Ken, and then Ken brought me along, and I just worked for free because I was like, I'll show these people, because again, that's how I am. I said, I'll show these people that I'm basically better than they are, because I always have a chip on my shoulder with everything I do. And I worked for free the first year, and the following year I was put on payroll, and we were just helping build. That second year, the guy who was running the makeup department, who had been running it for literally over a decade, this guy had been running the makeup department. And at that point, this was right at the tail end of like the fiscal crash from 2008. This is back when people like still needed jobs all the time. And Witches Woods had over 150 just actors that were working there. And the dude running the makeup department got cast on like a reality show about being a knight. So he couldn't, I know it's right up someone like that's alley. But he couldn't be there. So then I was like, I heard about this. I was like, I'll run the makeup department. Give it to me. I'll take it. I changed the whole makeup department. They like gave it to me. Took it over. Before that, I was also assistant manager to one of the haunts themselves. And I took the makeup department. I redid everything because he would only do airbrush. He would have a line out the door of people waiting to get airbrush makeup. People would clock in 2 hours before we opened to get in line to get makeup. And I was like, this is fucking stupid. This is so stupid. So basically what I did is I took the makeup department, I streamlined the whole thing. I taught everyone different makeup stuff. I made stations. I made it basically a turnkey operation. I took people who were interested in makeup as my artist. I had a whole new team. I just showed them basic things on how to do it. It went from pushing 3 hours to do airbrush makeup on the staff to I had everything done within 1 hour, the whole cast. And so I did the math on what we were paying people, how many hours over the course of the season. And it was like over like $14K in payroll savings. So basically I once that was done and like people were like, oh, the makeup looks so good now. I was like, yeah, because it's not all airbrush. There's textures. There's actual fake blood. I'm letting people be a little bit more creative with this stuff. If someone wants to come in and they go, just cover me in blood, I go, great, go over there. I'll cover you in blood. Sounds good. Sounds awesome to me. Don't touch anyone. And like, because it was all flat before. It was all flat airbrush. Because that's what the guy did. It's what he wanted to do. He had like he had a chokehold on it. So needless to say, I took over the makeup department. I saved that amount of money. Really gave me fucking status there. And when that guy was ready to come back, they said, no, thank you. This guy had been there for fucking like 13 years. And they said, no, we're all set. We actually don't need you. And he was fucking pissed. But then I was also still doing the build team. And now I have like a lot of like currency and like what I can do, what me and Ken can do, and this and the other thing. Basically, some other manager left. Some high up manager left. He was on the creative team. It was someone that we work with, and we always butted heads against him. And he left. And the top people were like, went to me and Ken. They're like, "Are you guys leaving too?" We're like, "No, but I was like, I want this title for me and Ken." I was like, "We're creative directors," and they're like, "Fine." So we became creative directors of the second, the tied for first of the largest screen park in New England within 2 years, and we ran it for 13 years and made a lot of changes there. A lot of stuff that we did is still there and is still used, because once we left, the appetite to be creative and to put in the effort to make those changes left with us. So they're back to the shithole that it used to be. Because as the way I always put it, I go, they're not a haunted house. They're a ski resort that has a haunted house, is what it is. But it was good. It was a lot of fun there. Did a lot of cool stuff. And it was cool to be like, oh, like to your point, Charles, you've been there?
Mm-hmm.
And where do you live here?
No.
No, but like when you were up here and like you were like, oh, let's do something, and like people were like, we'll go to that one. When did you go?
I went October 2020.
Oh, I wasn't there.
It wasn't great. I know you weren't. Wasn't great. I can tell you that much. Coolest thing there was a they were doing like it was one of the walks. I can tell you that much. Like one of the woods walks.
Yeah.
There
Vampire Passage.
That one.
Yep.
The only thing in there that was really cool, there was a guy who looked like a big bat statue, like goes off, and we're like, oh, that was cool. No, it was a guy attached to it. And then he came running off of it at us. That's the only thing, because I just didn't expect that part. Because he went he did the whole maneuver, then paused, and I was like, oh, that was neat. And then he just started running at us. So that's the only thing. Everyone else just kind of coasted by. So
don't even get me started on the staff. Don't get me started. But it was awesome. I was always proud of that, because people always be like, oh, it's just it was always like a cool ice breaking thing to talk about, because everyone, like, a lot of people like haunted houses, and like, oh, like, when do you start? Like, when, like, it would always be like people would be like kind of genuinely interested in like the behind the scenes of that kind of thing, and I'd be like happy to talk about it. But it was awesome. And by the second year, the second and third year we were there, on opening night, the state police had to show up to Neshoba Ski Valley demanding that we stop selling tickets, because we had cars lined up to fucking $4.95 to get into this place.
Jesus.
And it was just because the show got that much better. People were like, oh, you gotta go, you gotta see this, it's fucking way different, it's way better, blah blah blah, it's not the same shit all the time. And we would do, on our busy nights, we would push 30K people through the park in a night.
Wow.
30K, and that's just one night. And we would have a couple of those nights a year, and it was huge. It was awesome. It was so cool to be like working on it all year and all summer, and then like I'm done, getting everyone ready. Everyone's in their haunts. I'm like just kind of buttoning up the things here, and like I finally go out to the show floor, and it's fucking a sea of people, and I'm like, all these fucking people here pay to take a price, and every part they're gonna walk through has my hands on it, every single fucking one. And I was like, this is awesome. And it was great. It was a great time.
30K is impressive. With a South K or North K?
They were North K.
Even more impressive.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, does Ken still do any of that?
We both are on the same path trajectory. Basically, we both got married and both had kids. And we both just stepped back. So now we help out here and there. Sometimes we do like little projects. I'm in communication with
I thought you were going to be doing one last year. It never happened.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm still in talks with them. Basically, I'm in talks with like this like city who wants to do it, and it's just This person signs off, like, we got to get this person on board. That takes forever. Then they finally get on board, and it's like, okay, now we got to go talk to these people. Now we got to find the location, and we got to see this, that, the other thing. It's like, but everyone wants to do it. I'm like, great. Well, then I just got to the point where I go, you tell me when you're ready to do it, because I did one thing for them and they loved it, and I was like, yeah, well, we can do a whole haunted house, and like, that'd be great. I'm like, yeah, it would be great. Let's fucking do it. But it's just like bureaucracy, so we'll see.
Can't wait for you to be in charge of like Wednesday's school's like haunted house.
It's too real.
Are these real corpses, Matt?
You would think that, but no. It's a bunch of milk jugs.
There was a little haunted house in the Villages, and
my God.
we were with Kaylee's mom and her husband William, and William he was like, I've never been to a haunted house before, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna be your first one, this like random rinky-dink pop-up thing in the Villages. And I'm like, well, let's go. And we went in, and the only thing I can remember about it is you went into one room, and there was a guy standing there pointing at like a huge shit that he took in the toilet. And it was like, oh, it's like, what the fuck?
Dude, I know. People love that stuff. I hate it. I would never have it at my haunt, but man, I would go. No. I've been to enough haunted houses to see that scene.
Yep.
Many times. They make a toilet they make an old shitty gross toilet with a turd in it that will shoot someone with water. It's very funny, but it's not like, I don't know. It's not scary to me.
No.
So.
Goodness. That's very cool.
But yeah, that's my number 4 is my haunted house career. It's something I'm proud of.
Yeah. And I hope that we can all go to Halloween Horror Nights together as well and go behind the scenes there so you can pick it all apart.
I'd probably just fanboy so like, oh my God, did you use Tiger Foam for this? Did you use Tiger Foam for this? I'm like, oh, guy, chill out. Yes, we did use Tiger Foam. I'm like, oh my God.
This guy's got a Tiger Foam in his pants.
Oh boy.
Very nice.
Will.
Back to me.
Your number
Number 3. My number 3, I'm gonna say, is buying a house on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Back in 2017. A little late in life, maybe. I was, 30-ish? Can't do that, Matt. 30-ish years old.
Just a baby.
Just a bit. Very, very much involved with Rosa, but we weren't married, so I made sure to do it on my own. And boy, what a good decision that was.
Now I just kick her out whenever I want.
No, that's not what I meant. But the equity since then has been fantastic. And the sense of pride in owning a home with, I've got a decent sized yard, taking care of that garden, trying to improve it every year, even though some fucking shitwads. I got pressured into getting a tree cut down last week.
You get pressured to do it?
Yeah.
They just kept insisting.
So I have this one tree that was dead, and I've had a lot of tree work done the last couple of years, and this was the last one. My neighbor was like, "Hey, I'm having a bunch of tree work done. I can have the guy do yours for, a little extra." I'm like, "Fuck." I have like 5 vacations right now, but fine. He's like, you can pay me later, and I'm like, yeah,
never
right?
a good thing.
No, and I trust the guy 100%, but I don't want to owe anybody anything ever.
Mm-hmm.
So he pressured me into that. But owning my house has been a pleasure. I was on the fence when I was shopping. I was on the line of being able to afford a single family versus like a townhouse or a condo with condo fees. Ugh.
Yeah. In an HOA.
Thank fucking God that I was able to avoid that, because I would not get along. I'd be kicked out of an HOA.
Oh, I plan to be if I ever have one.
I'm looking forward to the day.
Yeah.
Well, Charles, let me tell you, just don't get into one.
You've seen my Facebook posts harassing my Facebook, like
You
the
are
old
an
white
evil,
women.
petty person.
Yes. Well, I live amongst a
You
bunch
have
of
no
old,
problem elbowing
old,
children
comfortable
in your
white
way.
people in this neighborhood. So I will just shake that tree when I see them getting mad about stuff.
Yeah, but not just like the financial good decision of getting the house at a great
Mhm.
time and having a 2.8 interest rate. Suck it.
Oh,
Uh,
2.3, motherfucker.
Oh, hell yes.
Oh, 6.25.
Eek. Hell, that'll come with an old boot factory.
It's the boot price.
But hey, got that Zoom background money coming in.
Yeah,
That's right. They have to license that from Matt.
from me. That's right.
But nothing has enriched my life more than, I don't have kids yet, but having a piece of property that I can take care of. And
Oh my god, I
And
can't
maintain.
wait.
I hate and love doing yard work, even in the blitz of this heat up here in New England.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it rained for the last
What
year and a half.
What is the
beforehand.
temperature? What is the temperature up there right now?
It's either fucking 70 and raining or 99.
It was like
78.
92 today or something.
Oh, 78 here too. Figured it'd be.
But I just love, Matt, you came to my party last year. You've seen my place. I take good care of my
Fucking
yard.
dump. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a dump. The house is a dump. The yard is fine. But I love it. I just love being able to go out there and like we do sometimes. We just go out and sit out back, have a little fire, or without a fire, just I can look up and see a lot of stars, and nobody else has that view but me.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait.
I like it.
Can't wait to own a home. Hopefully next year.
No, I hear you. That's owning a home is a really good point of pride, especially especially nowadays because it's very.
No, it was great that your wife's uncle gave you a house or whatever it was.
My wife's uncle. There was no house given, believe me.
Do you ever get the feeling that like when you're walking around your house and you're just like, no one can kick me out of here? You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like,
No, I know who I can kick out.
mm-hmm. Anyone.
Anyone I want.
Yep. But no, I always feel like if I'm somewhere, say it's like nighttime and I have to like pull over and like in front of like a restaurant for a second in my car. I don't know. I'm like, I could get kicked out of here at any point. Anyone could come and be like, you have to leave. You can't do that at my house. Like, I own this place. I can fucking strut around, do whatever I want. It's
Hell
a good
yeah, dude.
feeling.
It is.
Bet.
Unfortunately, I live in Massachusetts, and they could just pass a law and say my house belongs to them.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep. Come up here where there are no laws.
I mean, in fact, they planted 2 stupid trees in my front yard. Terribly. One of them's already dead.
Thanks.
Why'd
to
you let
Bob
'em?
Patrick?
What do you mean let them?
Yeah.
They didn't tell me they were doing it. I came home from work one
Then
day.
why'd you keep them?
I'm sure that if I fucked with them too soon, I'd be in trouble. But one of them's dead, so I'm gonna cut it down.
They're like, well, it's your liability now, so.
Sam, that's exactly what it is. And if I fuck with it and they find out, like, oh, you cut down city property, here's a fine,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it would happen. But it's my goddamn yard. At least 6 feet from the street, and therefore it's my yard.
Hell yeah. No, that's a really good one. This was on my list as well. That just didn't make the cut because I'm just too goddamn accomplished.
Small potatoes for someone like Sam.
But honestly, like I never thought I would own a house, like ever. Like especially like with the financial decisions I made as a young man. So the fact that I own a house is it's a fucking feat, and it's no. I know it's not easy to do. It's not easy to do. So yeah.
It used to be.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
definitely
used to be
true.
very.
I think it cost me like 12 grand.
I thought I would own a house by now. So I'm on the flip side of it.
You wanna live and work around DC. I mean,
Oh, I
shit.
fucking don't. I fucking hate her.
I believe Kaylee's dad bought his house and like 6 acres of land in North Reading for $7,500.
Oh my God.
In North Reading.
Yeah.
That's probably like a $3.5 million lot at this point.
He had to break like off the lot or whatever to like help settle some debts or whatever. But like
Some fucking
mob
gambling. Yeah.
From dropping his pants.
the other one.
Oh, sorry.
I'm glad you remember that story though. But yeah, that's how it used to be. $7,500.
Yeah, I got in at the last minute of affordable living on your own in Massachusetts.
Pretty much.
On a single family.
Used to be that affordable, but don't
Don't
worry.
try to do it now.
Don't worry. It's because we're too lazy to work. That's why we can't afford it, or people can't afford it.
There's no single family house in Massachusetts, at least towards the East Coast, that is less than 400.
Oh, that's why you got to live in southwestern New Hampshire.
I would love to, Sam. Fortunately, I have to drive to work every day.
There's no traffic out here though.
No,
Just cows.
because there's no jobs to be done.
Feed the cows.
All right, very nice.
Anyways,
All right.
driving. My number
Churros.
3 is I managed to own the dream car I wanted in high school. So, and I still drive it
Mitsubishi
today.
Eclipse.
The FJ
The-
Cruiser?
The Toyota FJ Cruiser.
Nice.
Yeah. Because there's
I've driven these.
to me there's a big difference between having a dream car that is attainable and then being like, I want a Lamborghini. Of course you fucking do. Who wouldn't want an exotic car? But let's be real. Like this is my realistic dream car. I drive it every day. Well, currently I'm not driving it because I have to replace the spark plugs, and I found out one of the flanges is currently rusted, and I
There's a
don't want to take
family
it
of
off.
possum living in the
I don't want to
engine.
take it off because I don't want to like not have a replacement part, so I have to go do that 7 a.m. in the morning tomorrow.
Wow, what a dream.
Yeah, to do my own maintenance, because I can tell you this much, Matt, can you do the maintenance on your Kia Telluride?
Can I? Or
Yes.
should I?
Can you?
Can't, and he refuses.
Exactly.
Why would I want to do? Why do I want to do the maintenance on a
Sam,
car?
Can you do the maintenance on your own Acura?
Oh no!
Yeah.
Even Kaylee's dad, who's like a lifelong mechanic, as his full-time job, he opened up the front of Acura and he's like, "What the fuck is this?"
Exactly.
What
Well,
is this, a fucking hamster and a wheel?
Will, I'd include you, but do you drive a Lincoln?
I
Right.
can, but I do not
Don't.
do my own
Exactly.
maintenance anymore.
I do all my own maintenance because you open up the hood of the FJ Cruiser and it's just an engine. There's no extra computers to this thing. It's very basic and it runs perfectly fine. So I love this truck so much. It's got the aerodynamics of a brick. It's got the
I can feel the wind against
Yeah.
my car.
It's got the miles per gallon of a slightly better Hummer, which that's about to kick me in the ass driving up the Main this weekend. So
Do you have-
I'm gonna.
All right.
Do you have the standard transmission?
I have an automatic transmission. I'm not getting a manual, dude. I used to drive manual transmissions. I used to swear by them until I sat in traffic every day of my life, and I don't want
Yeah,
to
that's
shift in and out of first gear just to move that little bit. But no,
So
I also
we
would
had a
never
company. We had a company FJ Cruiser,
You've told me about this, and you hated
and
it.
and it was a manual, and it was one of the worst vehicles I've ever driven.
Yeah, I would never drive one of those in a manual. Like, it just seems like a bad idea. But
But my boss did put a sick 12-inch subwoofer in the back with a nuclear tray foil in the back.
nice. Mine has a subwoofer. I don't know the size of it, but that's what came with it. So, but yeah, love this truck. I plan on either dying or it dying. That's the only way I'm getting rid of it. So,
Is
How
it a
many
truck?
miles does it have on it now?
it's about to be 160,000 miles. I've only ever had. I've only ever the major repair. I had to replace the intercooler on the front. That's it. So
Intercooler.
well, now in the spark, I'm just now doing spark plugs because those are starting to fail. So that's what I'm replacing currently.
And did you get it new?
No, I bought it used with 20,000 miles on it, and I bought it for 26 grand. Those
Nice.
things have a resale value of
A nickel.
I
was
could
gonna
still
say, you
get
could
over
probably
10
sell
grand.
it for 20.
Yes, it's pretty good. So
Why do people want them so bad?
they were only made for a few many years, and they were just
So the
wildly
really
popular.
old FJs, like the
Yes.
old FJs, my boss actually built one from scratch
Mhm.
during COVID, just to bring to Martha's Vineyard for his summer vacation. He hand built a old FJ Cruiser,
that's ridiculous.
and it's beautiful.
Oh, they are. There's one down. There's a guy who lives in our neighborhood, and he has an old FJ. And every time I see it go by, I'm like, that's a nice car. But yeah, I don't know why they just love them. They're incredibly reliable, and I don't know. They look like nothing else on
Unique.
the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say unique. Yeah.
It's
So,
like a Jeep Wrangler, but reliable.
yes, you can actually take it off roading. So
Wow.
yeah, but yeah, that's my number 3.
Wow.
So
Nice.
Sam,
Listen, my Wrangler's reliable. Son of a bitch.
it's made out of plastic.
Because it's new.
I can take it all apart by hand.
True. See,
My number 3 is having a television show with National Geographic,
Yeah,
that's fair.
That's a good one.
and it's
Almost made my list.
The one thing I haven't done.
it's still crazy that this happened.
Yeah.
You can still watch the episodes. The show is called Paparazzi. We just said it was 3 episodes, and it aired in 2018 on Nat Geo Wild. It was a fucking trip because we were out in Hollywood for all like the fucking the TCA like ad fucking it's like the event where like all the advertisers come together to see like what shows they'd like to invest in, and fucking rooftop parties with like random celebrities that are also have television shows, and I'm like,
Who?
I'm here too.
Oh.
We were at a party with
Like Urkel.
like Urkel,
Like
Morgan
Urkel.
Freeman. Let's see, Morgan
I
Freeman.
have a show about cats. It's called Catarazzi.
Gordon Ramsay was there.
Oh my God, he was?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
I'm jealous.
Jeff Goldblum. Who else was at this party? Oh, the guy that plays on New Girl. Guy that plays oh God, why can't I think of his
girl?
Mitt,
name? No, the black guy that does the tiny pranks. Winston.
yeah.
Yes. It's just like
Man.
Dr. Pole.
You listed some high class celebrities, and you're like, this guy whose name I can't remember.
Oh, I mean, I love New Girl. Hung out with Dr. Pole for a while. Talked to him and his wife.
Who?
The incredible Dr. Pole. He was like the biggest show on Nat Geo Wild.
One of the longest running shows on there too.
Yeah, it's because I know how they film those types of shows. Is they'll send a crew out for 3 weeks, and then they'll produce 3 seasons of the show during that time. And they're like, well, that was cheap and quick, so now you have 50 seasons of your show. There you go.
And that's why they made like several carbon copies of that same show for other
yeah.
vets elsewhere.
Yeah. But yeah, basically the whole thing happened from Kaylee just made a post on Reddit, and she just said, I love dogs and photography, so I became a dog photographer, and she posted 5 photos, and that was the whole post. And that post went to the top of the front page of Reddit for like 12 hours, which is a really long time to be in like one of the most visible places on the internet, and it got like just thousands and thousands of comments and hundreds of thousands of likes and stuff. And just one of those people that liked it was a producer from High Noon Entertainment. They made a Cake Boss and Fixer Upper and a bunch of other shows, and he was just like, can we have a call?
That's crazy.
It was crazy.
I never asked. I never knew that was the story.
It was from like literally like the simplest possible social media post. And like I said, I tell this to people all the time during workshops and things like that. It's just like, unless they're a bot, unless they're like a Russian sex bot or something, every person that likes or comments on your post is a real person, and it just takes the right person with the right opportunity for whatever it is that you're doing to, who knows, like change something for hopefully the better.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that was wild. It was an incredible experience. Because of that show, we didn't get a house the year that we were trying to get a house. Because we spent the whole year basically making that show, and on paper we made $0 based on like how many write-offs we had versus what we actually made making the show. And so when it came time to get pre-approved for our mortgage loan that we were already approved for, they were like, oh, well, since you were pre-approved before, you filed your new taxes, and now you don't make any money, so no house for you.
Ooh, yikes.
We're like, we have a television show. They're like, fuck you. No
Who
house.
do we? And you're on it.
But yeah, no, it was an amazing experience. Got to have my dog Joshua on that show, which is a very cool thing, just personally. Because that dog went from being locked in someone's basement and starved and abused to like being on fucking television, which is so cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah. We were driving from Boston to Florida for one of the episodes, and they the network will rent you like a rental car, a black car or whatever. So we're in a fucking Suburban, this huge Suburban, and we were driving in South Carolina, and I got pulled over, and the cop was like, "You were a little over the line." I was like, "Bullshit, I was over the line." Like,
oh, here it comes.
I am like, if I'm gonna brag about anything, I am a phenomenal driver. And I know I was not over the line. You pulled me over because I'm in a big black SUV with like New Hampshire plates, and I'm in South Carolina, and I'm on 95, and this is like a fucking, it's a drug route. So like, I know why you pulled me over. But he looked at Joshua in the back of the car. He's like, "Is that dog gonna bite me?" And I was like, "No, sir, he's not going to bite you." And he's like, "What are you guys doing?" And I'm like, "Well, we're going to film an episode of a television show for National Geographic." And like, then that fucking cop changed his tune real quick.
Oh, I love TV.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh wow, really? I work with a dog myself." And it's like, "Oh, thanks. We're not smuggling drugs."
If you said, "Yes, this dog may bite you," he just would have shot it.
They just shot it out, yeah. As they do.
God, who knows? So yeah, happy to answer any questions if you guys have them, and if not, we can move along.
Sam.
A cab, right?
Yeah. Why didn't you choose the production company I was working at to do your post production?
Because I didn't.
We handled all of Dr. Pol, by the way.
Did you?
Yes.
Son of a bitch.
I actually just looked it up. I was like, did they? We worked on a lot of Nat Geo stuff, and I was like, what are the odds? I know I didn't online your show, but like, what are the odds we did like the audio or sound? We did not. So
yeah, wild. Yeah, no, High Noon was cool because they're based in Denver, so you don't have to go to LA. And
yeah, they would not
or
have
New York.
gone to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they were a good team. They were pretty chill out there. Of course, everyone is high as fuck.
How was the craft foods table? That's what I want to know.
At the parties?
No,
good.
For filming.
For filming, fine.
Oh, that's terrible. Amateur hour.
Yeah, we were running and gunning. I mean, you see what we're doing right now for The Greatest Adventure, and it was very much like that, on the go, all the time, running people ragged. All right.
What was like the height of anxiety as far as like, because you did like the 3 shows were like a pilot, right?
Yeah, it was
with
basically like they hired us on to do 3, and we were like, well, we'll talk about doing more like later if it comes to that, but it was basically just an agreement for the 3.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then, the unfortunate thing about what happened with that show is that right as between it filming and airing, Disney purchased National Geographic, and everyone's jobs went like, all the people we knew were like, oh, they don't work here anymore. Now they're in this department. and now this person is over here, and then this person runs this, and they hate dogs. I don't know, but like everything got shuffled around, and so yeah, we didn't really get a chance to do any more, but it's fine. It's kind of what we're doing now. But
well, there you go.
yeah,
that's pretty sick.
Number 3. Thank you.
That's a good number 3. That's a good number 3.
Matt,
my number 3. My number 3 would have to be my music career. Probably, I don't know, maybe like not as like as successful as like my other 2 things that I've already talked about, but I mean, I dropped out of high school to go tour with my metal band. And then I just did that for 7 years. And at the time, like, I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. I knew a lot of people in a lot of bands. And no one that I knew, not that nobody was doing it, but like no one that I knew was like going on tours. And then like playing fests and meeting people and doing that kind of stuff. And it was super, super cool. But I think when I meet people or when I talk to people and then like I mentioned that, I'd say that's probably the thing people latch onto the most, because it's like the most like accessible thing. It'd be like, oh, I do improv. Like, I don't care about improv. Like, oh, I built haunted houses. Like, I don't give a shit about haunted houses. I was like, oh, I was like in a touring band. They're like, oh, tell me about that. And I'm like, well, this is what it was like. It was a shit show. But it was very fun. And plus I did it at 16. You know, like I didn't, I know people that are still in fucking bands that I played with back then, and it's very sad. It's very, very sad. But I don't know. I think because it was something I wanted to do, and I think the reason why I think it's such like an achievement is just because I started to play guitar when I was 12, and then I was like obsessed. I couldn't stop playing. That's all I did. And then I was in a band when I was 16, and once I was 16 and a half, I dropped out, and like I went on tour like the following week. I went my first tour the following week, and then just started booking tours. Just started doing this and playing all over the country, and it was a ton of fun. And like before the mishap with someone of my same name happened last year or the year before, you could Google my name, and like old articles on like lambgoat.com, which is like a big like hardcore metal messaging board, would like come on. Like I changed bands, and people wrote about it, and I was like, that's cool. They'd be like, oh, Matt Bissony, formerly of this band, is now playing guitar in this band. I was like, wow. Didn't know people cared.
No, Kevin Weaver writes great articles.
He does. I mean, and even back then, he's been around for so long for me. He's like such like a staple in the Bistany camp.
Now, can we find old pictures of you on Return to the Pit?
Oh my God, yeah. Are you kidding me?
I've seen
all
him on
over
Facebook.
Yeah.
All right.
Every time, because like I think he has like some sort of like randomizer poster for his like Facebook page, but once in a while I'll be the picture that comes up and be like, you know, Auburn System, blah 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 blah, you know, 2005. I'm like, hey, it's me.
Yeah, I messaged you a couple of weeks ago about my friend's band Lucas, and I was like, did you play with Lucas? And you're like, it sounds really familiar. It was exactly that time, exactly that scene. But
I'm
yeah,
sure I have.
Yeah, and my buddy Jay and his band Lucas is all over that website as well. Return to the Pit. It's such a fucking specific scene.
It is. That dude is like he's still going. He's still doing photography. The Reverend, you call him the Reverend.
Okay.
He was such a cool guy. Like, yeah, we played on the radio show at UNH. That was fun, and yeah, man, it was just like a fucking blast. And again, I think that was just like a very pivotal moment for me when I got to the point in my life of just even at like 15 and 16, where I was just like, this is what I'm gonna do. I don't even have like a second question about it. It's just a matter of how I'm gonna do it. And that's kind of just been like it has led me down a very successful path in life. And it is I count myself very fortunate to be able to think that way and act that way, because over time I have met a lot of people who are very, who have trouble figuring out what they want to do, or who they want to be, or the things they want to do. And I've seen it be very debilitating and like very destructive to people. And I've luckily never had that problem at all. I was just so sure of my own decision making that I would be able to look at something and be like, no, that's not something I'm interested in. I don't want to do that. Or yes, and I'm going to do it cuckoo bananas crazy. But yeah, so that's it. Just like my whole band life, which is super fun.
Do you have a favorite city that you visited on tour?
Yeah. There's like, I have like a ton of stories I could tell, but I think one of the most not surprising, but like one of the coolest things I remember was we had just got signed to like a small indie label, and we got booked on this like show. We got booked on the small tour that started in Ohio. So we had to go from Boston to Ohio on the first day. And I probably told the story before on the show, but we showed up to a suburban neighborhood, and I mean very suburban. And we were like, this is the address. And GPS, we like MapQuest. This was like back when you would MapQuest. When I did tours, we had a binder from point A to B, from B to C to C to D. And all we did was get fucking lost all the time. But we showed up, and it was just a house. I was like, this can't be right. And this like kid came out, and he's like, hey, he's like, Auber System. I was like, that's us. Where are we? He's like, oh, this is where the show is. It was just like this kid's basement in this like, I would say well-to-do neighborhood, but like knowing what I know now about like real estate markets, I think that's just like what money got, like that kind of house back then or whatever. And it was just like this open basement, and I was like, we drove so far for this. This fucking sucks. But you know, things like that, you just chalk it up to just paying your dues. Like, you know what? This is just paying our dues, guys. You know, let's do the best we can, and yada, 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 keep, you know, whatever. And we went up, and the kid's mother, his parents were home, by the way. The kid's mother made spaghetti for all of us.
Hey,
so
Mrs. Cumberdale.
Yes, it was very much like that. So he's like, my mom made pasta. I was like, what the fuck? We're like, you know, 18, 19, 20-year-old dudes, and this kid was like 15. And we're like, okay, all right. So we went upstairs. We loaded in, and then and I was like, okay, it was just a basement, just like a decent sized empty basement. Went upstairs, had dinner, and we talked with the kids' parents, and they were very nice. And the guy's dad was from the North Shore of Boston, so we were just talking about Boston. And he's telling us about like, oh, I used to go here. We're like, yeah, that's still there, blah, blah, blah. It was like, it's like cool. I was like, well, is there any other bands on the show? Yeah, one kid playing an acoustic guitar. Like, all right, cool. Great. We're like, well, show's about to start. We're like, well, let's go back downstairs. We go back downstairs. There's like 250 fucking kids in this fucking basement. I got to I like opened the basement door and you could hear like the cacophony of people. I was like, the fuck is this? Go downstairs. It's a fucking sea of people. I went, what the fuck is going on? I asked the kid, I go, what? Why are there so many people here?
What are you?
Yeah. He goes, well, to be honest, we've never had this many people. He's like, but I think with you guys coming to play, whatever. I was like, okay. He's like, but there's no venue in the area, and there's a ton of kids, and they had like a scene or whatever. And this is just where bands played. Other bands that I knew also eventually played this kid's house. And we went down there, and there was just a kid playing guitar and singing very bad, fucking terrible. Like he looks like he just played the day before. And then we were like, fuck it, all right, let's just go for it. And we just played a set, and kids went fucking ballistic. And they were like, there had never been moshing there before. And these kids were like, straight, metalcore moshing. And this kid had fucking, I'll never forget this. This kid had lightning bolts shaved into his head. And he was like, I don't know. He was just like so pumped that we were playing. And like, it was like a big deal to him. It was cool. But I was like, this is fucking crazy. So that was like, I'll just never forget opening that fucking door and going downstairs and being at the top of the stairs right as soon as like you get low enough to like be at the top of the room and just being like, what the fuck is this? There were so many fucking kids there. They loved it. Sold a lot of merch. So it was good.
Sick.
Moved a lot of units, as one would say.
Mm-hmm. That's so funny.
Yeah. And then we got in, then we went to our next date at a club. And there was like 20 people there. I was like, I wish we were back at the fucking kid's house.
Mm-hmm.
But
definitely a memorable gig, man.
Oh my God. Yeah. But yeah, no, so it was a good career. It was very short. It wasn't really much of a career. It was just like something I did as a young person. I never made any money. Never did anything super, super crazy. Other bands that I've played with have gotten very big. And it's crazy. Actually, one of like this band from our area that my pop punk band used to play for, they used to open for our pop punk band in like local shows, and they were like, oh, hey, Matt's pop punk band, we're gonna just fucking go way the fuck over here real fucking fast. I was like, holy shit, good for them. And old Logan, it's like his favorite band. I remember being like, he has like this band's like a tattoo of this band. I was like, wow. I know. I was like, do you want me to call them on the phone for you? Would you like to talk to them? Me and Fro knew those guys for years. We're like, and he was like, no, that's okay. I was like, are you sure? I feel like if I had a tattoo of a band and someone could be like, do you want to like meet them or whatever? I was like, but I don't know. It's just the luck of the draw playing in, Boston. It's a musical place.
Your best band was easily All Hands on Deck.
That's a band. That's a pop punk band I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. But and the band I'm referring to was a band called Transit.
Never heard of them.
They got really. What was that?
Transvest what?
No, Transit.
What?
Transit.
Oh.
Transit. They were a big band. They got very big, which I thought was insane because their singer was really bad. But he leaned into it, and like I was like, you know what? Good for fucking him. He couldn't sing. He knew he couldn't sing. He could write pretty good lyrics, and it got people. He made it work, and they made it work, and it was good. The band was good. The drummer was really good. I remember that. But yeah, that's my number 3. So Charles,
It's Will.
Will,
it's your number 2.
Number 2. My number 2 is joining the Top 5 of Death podcast. It's the most honorable thing I've ever had a chance to be a part of, and
that's
it's
crazy
created
because we're kicking you off the show.
Creative outlet for me. In light of episode 500, I just want to say goodbye to everybody. I want to be a part of the show. It's just that they don't really want me a part of it, so it's fine.
True. Yeah.
We won't even let you do your number 1 this week.
I don't have one. No, it's a phone. It's kind of a phone in, but I do really appreciate getting the opportunity. Thank you, Matt, to jump in here. It was only supposed to be 2 new bloods, and then it was a 3rd new blood. And this is because of Justin. I didn't even ask you. Justin is the reason I'm on the show.
That is true. Yeah, I think he said, he was like, hey, you should ask Will. I was like, maybe I will ask Will.
Yeah. Like, I wanted to, but I wouldn't ask. And so falling in the back door and getting the opportunity, it's been a lot of fun. I'm not an improv guy or an artistic person. You guys you all deal in certain elements of art, and no, I hang drywall, but I do a damn good job of that.
But you're very funny, and you have a slight unpredictability to you.
Yes.
A bit of a loose cannon, some might say.
Wow, wild card.
Will he say the N-word? I don't know.
No.
Let's find out. Yeah, well, we love having you, Will.
Mm-hmm.
For now.
Except for all those times you fucking do something wrong.
You suck.
Don't do anything wrong.
You can't be great if you don't suck.
Yeah, I forget who said that.
Like P.T. Barnum, I believe.
Someone did, though.
Anyway,
no,
moving on.
Oh,
I hear you.
my number 2. It's time to dust off an old classic. It's that I've finished a 100-miler race before.
Woo.
Yeah.
Boring. You're boring, everyone.
42 hours of running, power walking, and eating.
Christ.
Yeah, man.
And pooping.
Yes, I did shit in the woods. Mile 70. Sometimes that just hits you. And I did not have anything to wipe with. And the whole time I was just doing this because we were in Vermont in the fucking summer and the flies were trying to eat our eyes. So,
Oh, no.
yeah. Yeah. So I finished 100-miler.
This is how you have fun.
This is how I have fun.
My eyes.
My eyes.
I love this.
Later in the year, I tried my second 100-miler. I only made it 36 miles, I think, before I stopped because my knees were going to fall apart. And then now I plan on next year, I plan on attempting my third 100-miler. I'm going to be doing the Keys 100. And you run from Key Largo to Key West. And it happens in May.
Oh, no.
So why?
I was there in March and it was fucking brutal.
Yeah, I was there in February and it was really bad. Not February of last year, but last time I was there it was February. It was warm.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because it seems neat. You're running on the same piece of road the whole fucking time. Also, you do not usually run 100-milers on pavement. They are usually a trail race, so I'm gonna hate myself at the end. And I also remember taking a family trip to Key West and driving that bridge as a kid, and I was like, oh, so I think as an adult, I think it'd be neat to run that distance. Will I finish it? Probably not. I am very prone to heat exhaustion. Sam was witness to that last year. So
Yeah, you were
we'll see what
running at
happens.
night.
But yeah, why do this? Because why not? I'd rather see if I could do it than not try at all. Yeah.
Well, if you ever had heat stress, you are more susceptible every time you have heat stress.
I know. I had it twice last year, thanks to the Grand Canyon and then
So
running it.
maybe relax.
Yeah, that's why I haven't done. I'm not doing any ultras
I don't
this
know.
year. So
Oh, you're only gonna run like 40 miles.
no.
Was your first 100-miler the one where you had brain dehydration?
No, that is just an
Brain
ultra.
dehydration?
Yes, so that is I had moderate. It's awful. There's 3 stages of dehydration. There's your standard dehydration, like, oh, your pee's yellow, you should probably just go drink some water. Moderate dehydration, whereas your body starts diverting fluids from certain aspects of your body to keep you alive. And there's third, severe, which is when you're most likely going to die.
Heat stroke.
I was at moderate, which a good sign that you're at moderate is that you are in a hot temperature and you are no longer sweating. Because because your body is now going to be taking that water that you usually use to like cool yourself down. It's going to take that water and move it elsewhere. I was no longer sweating out of my face. So I was basically dehydrating my brain.
Okay.
Did you get the chills? Did you get goosebumps?
I don't remember.
It's a sign of heat stress.
I can tell you
Those
this
work
much.
out in the heat.
After that race, I had a lot of memory issues for several months. So I fucked up. But yeah, I am more susceptible to, say, heat exhaustion, and I'm currently prepping this year ways to combat that a little better than usual. So
He's going to soak your brain like a sponge.
yep, I'm just gonna dunk it in there 24 hours beforehand. Just leave my head in water. I'll be perfectly fine.
No,
But yeah.
would you ever do, instead of a 100-mile run, would you do like a 1,000-mile walk?
1,000 miles.
What's the difference? If you've ever, outside of watching the top professional 100 milers, that's what most people are doing. You're just power walking this bad boy in. So, yeah. But yeah, I finished it. It's a thing that's always gets brought up at some point when people are like, oh, what do you run? What do you do? And I'm like, well, at some point I bring it up and everyone goes, wow, even though that happened 6 years ago. That was in 2019. So it's a long time ago.
That's cuckoo.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
still 99 more miles than I can run. And a half.
That half. So, but yeah, it's my old reliable. I'll talk about that on my deathbed.
It's a damn good one.
Yeah.
Damn good one.
Damn cool.
Third
Number
one.
2.
All right. My number 2 has got to be starting a nonprofit and traveling the country in an RV to tell the stories of shelter dogs through the power of photography.
I'm glad you kept going because I was like starting a nonprofit. I was like, anybody could do that. We could do one right now.
Should we?
Technically, could we? But yeah, obviously, there's been a lot of people helping with this project. It's not just me, but I did have to take like Kaylee's big dream of doing this project and make it into a thing that existed. So, you know, using basically like the career that we've built in photography and the brands that we worked with and everything, just start from nothing and just start reaching out to people and being like, hey, we want to do this. Will you give us money? Until it happens. So just kind of just willing something into existence, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt, you'd be good at this sort of thing.
Hell yeah.
Like, this doesn't exist. And now
Now
it does. Now it does.
There you go.
But yeah, obviously we just got back from, you know, our 10th greatest adventure stop. So within the last year, we left on August 3rd of last year. At this exact moment last year, I was putting together so many pieces to make this work. I was just pulling like all-nighters nonstop, and we didn't have an RV yet, so I had to get the RV and get it wrapped, you know, design the wrap, implement the wrap, buy a Jeep, hook those two things up, figure out how to drive it, fill it with stuff, talk to the shelters, get all the video gear, onboard people like Charles and Christy, our project manager, and building the website and fundraising, and this was all happening all at the same time, and I was basically at the head of all of it. Just like delegating as much as I could, but like running all those pieces in the background. And Kaylee's obviously like the face of it, and like the you know, the brand, you know, she's the brand that people like know and will support. But she's not great at the logistic side of things. So in step I for all of this. And yeah, next week I have basically the call to kind of officially put the ask out for our biggest sponsor to be like, do you want to do this again? So that will be a big call and a big week.
Let me know if you need my help.
I will.
Do you need me to
I
give you
will.
updated numbers so you have a number to ask?
Do
wanna
do
take
you
a
need
photo
me
shoot
to
at a nuclear facility?
Maybe.
do you need me to kidnap one of their kids?
That couldn't hurt, right?
No.
Unless it really hurts.
Hey, that's how big
We all wind
Hollywood
up in
deals
jail.
are made now.
That's right. But yeah, we just completed stops from New Hampshire to Montana to Oregon to Lake Tahoe to Moab, Utah. We stopped in Arkansas, and we were in Key West and Savannah, Georgia, and the Blue Ridge Mountains and Pennsylvania and Maine, and it's been a lot. It's been amazing. But just like kind of having, I know my strength is generally not necessarily as like a creative person, like coming up with an idea out of nowhere, but taking an idea and then like figuring out how to actually implement it and make it into a thing. So yeah, I definitely think it's a big accomplishment, and something I'm definitely very proud of. Just and hopefully it's just the beginning of, many more, shelter stops to come, and, much bigger vision for the nonprofit. But just getting that up and off the ground and not dying makes for a good number 2.
Pretty
Oh
good.
yeah, dude.
Okay.
I agree. And if no one knows why what have you been doing? So,
and
not paying attention, clearly.
and yeah, if you need to give me updated rates, that's fine. I'll roll it into my ask.
I think it's a beautiful thing, and I hope you continue to not make a profit.
Yeah, appreciate that. Trust me, that hasn't been a problem.
Done.
We put the non in non-profit. Alrighty, Matthew.
Pretty sweet.
Matthew,
Me again?
what
again?
is your number 2 career?
My number 2 career is my porn career. No.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you ever see those fucking videos of guys having sex? That's me.
Old tuna can, Matt.
There you go. Yeah. No, my number 2 is my number 2 is this podcast. I mean, to the point of everything, it's great now with these guys, but I, with the exception of Will, never knew these guys.
Oh, okay.
Just wondering where that was going.
Yeah.
With the exception of Will, we'll continue on podcasting.
Oh, come on.
No, but I think Charles said something to me a week or 2 ago or something like that. We were talking about like, doing like a new show or whatever, and he's like, man, you've been doing this for 10 years. It's like, I've been doing it for 2. It's like, all right, let's try something. Top 5's great. Let's see what else we can do.
Hate to break this to you, Matt, but you've been doing this for 12 years.
No, don't break it to me. Oh, 12 years? Oh my God. Oh, that's right. Because when we started, it was 10. Now it's been 12. 12 years is so long.
Yeah. 2013. I don't remember.
But I am proud of it. It's done a lot of cool stuff. I've met a lot of cool people. It's been, some people's favorite show, which is crazy. And I've had a lot of fun doing it. It's like so second nature to my being now, where it's like, oh, it's like, well, when are you podcasting this week? Like when I'm like working on my schedule, I'm like, I don't know. But it's just like, it's going to happen. And at this point, it's really my only creative outlet that I have as a creative person. But yeah, it's just been a show that's coming up on 500 episodes. In reality, it will be over 500 with like bonus episodes and other things. But yeah, I mean, everyone starts a podcast and then they stop doing it. And I've done it for, as Sam said, 12 years now. I took a year break, right? There was a year when it kind of ended, then just brought it back. Now we're going to end it again, and I'll probably bring it back with 3 new people in another year. So it's that simple. But yeah, it's been awesome. And like, I'm very, very happy to have met Charles and Sam through this. It's nice to talk to Will every week. Will's one of my oldest friends, and there was like probably like 5-6 years where like I would barely, if at all, talk to him.
I don't know when we would have met up again if not for this.
Yeah, honestly, just like a random wedding here or there, or like someone's fucking funeral. You know, but it's been good, and like I have a good time, and I don't know. I think there's a lot of me in my whole life that's been recorded on this show. I was previously engaged. I got, married. There's like so much stuff has happened. I still have
the magnet from that engagement.
It's on Will's fridge. Also, can you take it down if I do come to the party on August 2nd? I'd love to not deal with that. Why does Will have that up there? I don't know. Ask Will.
Still hoping it will happen.
Any day now. But yeah, it's been good. Had a lot of good laughs, a lot of good moments. It's just been a lot of fun. And as I get older and responsibilities change, the opportunities for goofy fun like this aren't as prevalent as they once were. And so I very much appreciate the time and the people that still listen to this, all Kevin Weavers of them. And it's been good. So yeah, I think it's something to be proud of. It's sometimes when I tell people how many episodes we do and they're like shocked. I don't know if it's like an embarrassing, like, ooh, should I have stopped like a long time ago? I'm like, no, of course not. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah. For me, the worst thing to happen to this show was me being on it, because this was my favorite podcast as well. And so now, like, I know, like, when the episode comes out, I already know what's going to happen.
Bummer, man.
So the best ones are when I'm not on it. I'm like, oh, what do the old boys get up to this week?
Right.
Lucky for you, that's all the time.
Very
I
nice,
agree,
right?
though. I agree. Being able to listen as a fan is awesome.
Yeah. I can find on my computer. I'll check it out at some point. But I can find the exact date that I started listening to this episode or to the show, because I remember the photo shoot we were on our way to when Kaylee was like, "Hey, my friend Dooley has a podcast. Do you want to listen to it?" And I was like, "No." and she's like, "But they did a Simpsons episode." And I said, "All right, put it on." And so that was like the newest episode. So it was like episode 6 or whatever. But like I remember the shoot we were on our way to. And so if I pulled up that shoot on our computer, I'd be like, oh, it's this exact date that I started listening to this show. And it was 2013.
God damn.
It's fucking bananas. What a young man I was.
That's so crazy. And, in all the ups and downs or whatever, the fact that I don't talk to literally I don't talk to anybody who's done the show before. Occasionally DJ, occasionally Jeff. That's about it. They're all good. They're fine. For those who don't know, DJ lives in California now. Jeff's still Jeffing it up. Yeah. So that's it. That's the only 2 people that were on the show.
The only ones I can remember.
That's the only I don't know who else. I don't know anybody else.
Yeah, there was a DWJ was one of them.
DWJ. Yeah, BWK. Man, too bad about BWK. doing the show, I'll put it this way. Doing the show with all those guys was always very fun. They are very fun people to converse with. And I don't know. I sometimes I'm curious to know if anything happened differently, what would have happened to the show. And I still think the same outcome would have happened with me always continuing it on and people out and other people just dropping off. But I'm happy where we are now, and I'm pumped. So I'm excited for what's going to be happening again.
Very nice. A gentleman's number 2.
Another 13 years of another show.
Mm-hmm. Join us on the Big Dick Podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
Coming soon to you.
Big Dick Cast?
Yeah. We'll be announcing a name soon enough.
No, that's it now.
It
It's
might be
Big
that.
Dick Cast.
I was gonna say, are we doing the reveal now? Because
Yeah. Here it comes.
Oh, shit, we just lost our YouTube.
No, that's fine. We didn't have one anyway.
gained 20 subscribers on
Yeah,
OnlyFans.
Yeah. Ooh, we could be the first podcast to be strictly OnlyFans. Is that a thing?
It's a good idea.
Actually, there's a lot of people doing that. and
Oh,
it's
God
not-
damn
Oh,
it.
what the fuck? All right, let's
It's
be
not a
the
bad
first.
idea.
Let's do the first podcast on. Oh, what's a? I can't even think of like a
X hamster.
Angel Fire.
Angel Fire. Angel Fire. Jesus Christ. You know what? Let's be a first podcast where it's only newsletters.
It's all written.
It's all text based. It's a book every week.
Brought to you by stickandcheese.com.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Gross.
that's my number 2. So Will, number 1.
You're number 1, Will.
Oh shit.
My number 1, and I'm gonna get through this a little quick because it's really just my career path. Without going to college or any meaningful college, I started in working in radiation refueling outages because of Justin. Ended up getting into a local company, started entry level, and have since worked my way up to being the director of operations, only second to the 2 owners of the company. And I did that through a lot of hard work, most notably the High Hazard Project over at the Superfund site in Concord, Massachusetts, where we decommissioned some uranium hexafluoride recycling equipment that included some hydrofluoric acid in excess of 70% concentration, which is quite deadly. We lost the bid for the project. A company came in, fucked it up. That company tried to pin it all on Justin, to be honest. And, I mean, unsuccessfully, because they were completely wrong. And then my company rebid it. We won it, and we were already on the map, but this really put us on the map as to do something historical, which is not, fancy. It's not something you would see on the Billboard Top 100, but very notable achievement in my career was to be a part of this project, and we crushed it. Me and my coworker, the late great Paul Childress, rest his soul, did an amazing job, and I'll never forget. There was this one piece of the project, like the very end. We've gone through all these hazards and work plans, and everything went off perfectly. We're at the very bottom. There's the highest risk joint that we're gonna break, and this deadly liquid could come out of it. And when I say it's deadly, if you get a smear on your skin the size of like a dollar bill, you will die. So we had all this
Yikes.
specialized equipment. We opened up this bottom joint. It spilled all over my friend Paul's hands, despite my recommendation for doing it a different way. And then my boss celebrated it. He goes, "We're done. That was perfect. There was no other way to do it." And I'm like, "But there was another way. And God damn it." He got all the credit.
Did he die from that?
No, he died from other things, but he took so much of the credit, but I never protested, and That was kind of the groundwork for why my boss trusts me today. Is that I never went for the clout. I just showed up and did the work. And like I said, this was just one project. It was the most notoriety, or I was gonna say notorious. That's not right. One of the most important projects I was ever part of. That went really well.
Yes. Honestly it's a scary job, especially with how much I don't understand what you do. All I know is that it sounds horrifying every second of it.
What's the worst thing that you've seen or have been like a part of?
What?
What's like the worst thing that's happened at work?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
I manage
That's
the
no fun.
projects, so everything goes well.
Boring. All right. Well, then what's like the scariest like industry lore?
So there was a incident. I wasn't actually on the site at the time, and it was a different company. But have you ever seen those big concrete saws out on the street where they're cutting up sidewalks?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
At that same job site, somebody was operating one of those, and it kicked back and ran up the guy's chest.
Oh man.
Oh, jeez.
Did he died?
No,
Oh,
he was very lucky.
Jesus.
The next most serious thing was when I fell in a hole and almost died at Yale. But I think I talked about that on the show.
Classic
You
Yale.
did.
All those holes.
Classic hole story.
An Ivy League hole, it'll kill you.
Classic. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's a good one. Listen, you're living the American dream. Fucking working your way up from nothing.
Next step is making your own business.
Yeah. Do you think that that's something that you would ever consider doing?
Well, when you work in consulting,
Mm-hmm.
the next step is to be your own consultant.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I wish I knew more nuclear questions to ask you.
I'm very good at shipping radioactive material, so I think that's going to be my next venture.
Is that what Rosa calls it when you take a crap?
Gotta drop my nieces off at the pool.
In her butt.
Nice. Very good.
That's my number one.
Nice.
Hurry up.
Beautiful.
All right. Very nice.
Well, congrats. Fuck me.
Congrats.
It's past midnight. Yeah.
That it is.
Yeah. My number one. Continuing the trend. My number one is actually my career as an editor, because this was not planned. This was not the dream. I stumbled into this position, to be honest. And I initially wanted to be a writer. I still would love to be a writer, but I initially wanted to write like movies and TV shows and shit like that. And then I found out that that's not like a job everyone can get like easily right away, especially when you're from Virginia and you don't have connections to the industry already. And so the one thing that clicked in film school was editing. I was like, okay, I can maybe start working with this. And then when I went back to college, the first day of entry level, like introduction to the school, the person who's in charge of the TV and film degrees walked in and said, most of you will not do well at this. Almost none of you will ever find a 9-to-5 Monday through Friday job. Most of you will leave this industry, which I thought my first instinct was, all right, bet, let's see what happens with this. And my second thought was also, who the fuck is this guy? It turns out he was the head of also the audio department, which had the biggest fail rate in the school. But yeah, I just kind of kept working at it, and now every time I work on something new, I'm surprised I've gotten this far, because I've worked on videos for Jane Goodall. I've worked on shows for Nat Geo, Discovery, Smithsonian Channel, Disney Plus. I helped a show win a fucking primetime Emmy.
Shut her house.
I didn't work on
Talk about the
Shutter.
foundation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the other thing. I've been let go from many jobs. Last year I got fucking rocked and was fired from one of my highest paying position, where we were slowly planning on getting a house supposed to be this year, and then we got kicked out of that position, and I was really stuck at the crossroads of like, do I want to do this? And I said, I've never been fired from a job and felt like I was at the top of my game at the time. So I kept pushing forward, and I've had an unshakable belief in myself. At one point, Sam was my only employer.
Ay caramba.
Yeah. And now I'm working on ads, and I never planned on that. And I will say, leading up to this point, working on Sam, I always just call it Sam's show. That's how I've always referenced it. It's the easiest way to reference it.
It's a Sam show.
Work on The Greatest Adventure. The two things like, oh, what's your like best work? If someone were to ask me, I'd show them Vigo's show, and then afterwards it would be Val's episode. Like, I've done other stuff for PBS and stuff like that, and I'm like, no, this is my best work right here. And it's because I've been given free reign to go like, can you make this show? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, that show would not come together without you, because we film a lot of shit and we send it your way and we go, make show now. And then we spend the next then you make a show and then we refine it, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, the just combing through, I know just on our little project how much shit you have to go through, and then to make sense of it is unreal.
I see everything on those shows. I just sit there and I just
can't use that. Can't use
that.
There's a good clip coming up from our main episode, which you definitely can't use. which is I'm in character for one of the scenes when we're hiking through the woods, and my main accent, and I started slipping into just a lot of stories about the book It instead, including what happens to those children in the sewer.
Oh no. Yeah, I plan on creating a supercut of that, and just the amount of times that where it's been, if you look through some of our past edits, if it's just like, Charles, cut that out. Charles, don't leave this in. It's just two notes, and I just plan on it's just a consistent at campfire of just Charles. So
yeah. We have a new episode that will be coming out this week, Jacob's episode from Savannah, Georgia, and that rough draft that you turned in for that was more polished than most shows that are on television right now.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I love doing the work, and it sucks because my industry is currently dying. Like,
how do you know what I was thinking?
That was very bizarre. Post-production is currently slowly dying a very bad death thanks to major networks. And I've been at a crossroads where I'm like, do I want to keep doing this? And I just somehow, where a lot of major people in the industry have been leaving, I'm just like, I'm just going to keep pushing at this because I don't see myself doing anything else. Because if I were to be working on, I don't know, like IT shit, I'd be watching a show and I'd be like, there's something wrong with that. Like, I've spent over a decade working on this skill and I'd hate to just throw it away. So, yeah.
Well, listen, our next step is also making a full-length documentary that we can bring to film festivals and stuff. So we'll hire you for that, and let's see if we can win this man an Emmy.
I'd love that. I'd start crying probably.
Don't you already have an Emmy?
No, I don't have. We didn't get the physical Emmy. We would have had to pay thousands of dollars, and then it would end up in storage because that company doesn't exist anymore. So, post-op media does not exist anymore.
Weird.
So, yeah.
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 Beautiful. Very nice.
It's my job.
All right, Sam.
Your job.
Yep. My number one is Shutterhound.
Oh yeah. Another thing that almost killed you.
The thing that almost physically killed me. Another thing that I willed into existence, based on, there was one other dog photography conference that used to happen. I believe I'm also responsible for killing it. But it used to happen. It was called AIM, Animal Image Makers. And we were the keynote speaker for the first one that they did. But this was like, there is a thing in the photography industry called the PPA. And it is the Professional Photographers of America. They are like the group that you join when you're an old white guy and you want someone to give you a recognition for your work on like a merit-based level. Like, it's very old school, and like the work that tends to come out of it is like very antiquated, and it's, I don't know, it's not great, but like this was kind of an offshoot of that. They did one specifically for animal photography, for the dogs being the specific thing. But, it was held at, like, the Airport Hilton in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Woo!
And like, yeah, like, we were the keynotes. Yeah. We flew from New Zealand, like, the most stunning, like, beautiful landscape in the world, home to change our suitcase over to fly to Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Ugh.
And then, yeah, I walked from there to the Mall of America, and that was the day that somebody threw a 2-year-old off of the second floor balcony. Anyways, that's just a coincidence. But it was so like low effort that it made me like really upset. It was like, and there was like 100 people, 120 people there or something like that. It was fine, but it was like the one event for the very specific industry that I'm in. You know what I mean? Like, how many trade shows are there for videographers or for fucking the Nuclear Federation or whatever? Like, I'm sure there are like, there's giant conferences for everything, but for dog photography, there was this like rinky-dink one at the Airport Hilton, and I was so bullshit about it. Like, it was nice, but like, as far as like, people were nice and we got paid and like, but it was lame. That's just what it was. So I was so upset that we were walking through Las Vegas a couple months later, and I was like, we're going to do our own dog photography conference at the Mirage. And Kaylee's like, that seems like a lot of work. And I'm like, hang on. And then I called the Mirage. And so I called them and I was like, can I speak to the event coordinator? And like just schedule the initial meeting. And that was step number 1. Get the ball rolling on that, which spiraled into a full year's worth of like nonstop intense work to like logistic this thing together from the other side of the country.
That's crazy.
It was such a stupid thing to think that I could do. But I did it. And again, same sort of thing with the Dog Breath Foundation. Kaylee's like the face of it. She's the draw and all that stuff. And just using that and our reputation to be like, to ask people for money like almost a year ahead of time. Be like, tickets go on sale January 1st. The event is September 5th, 6th, and 7th. So like, and it was expensive. It was an expensive conference because it was really high end and really boutique. And I was like, will anyone buy a ticket? Like, will we sell a single ticket? Like, will this wind up being like the most costly? Because I know most conferences lose money in their first year. But like, I switched over the website to have it go live January 1st at like, it was like 10 a.m. And then I was like, all right, it's live. And I sat back and I was like, is anything going to happen? And then there was like a ding, like on my phone. It's like, you just made a sale. And then it was like, ding, ding, ding.
Oh, cool.
And then the whole fucking day was just like nonstop like ticket sales. We sold, I think, like 75% of our ticket sales the first day.
That's
so it was like kind of a slow thing after that. But like the first day I was like, oh, we can do this. Like, this is a thing. And thank God we sold them on that first day, because Stripe, which is a credit card processor, was like, we're going to hold all your other transactions for this until after your event. I'm like, excuse me? They were like, yeah, we're just going to hang on to all that money. Because of things like Firefest or whatever, where like, because it's event based, they're like, so oddly enough, we, Stripe, we're on the line for like, if anything happens and you don't do the event, it somehow comes back to them legally, which is weird. So they were holding a lot of money. And if I hadn't had sold all those tickets on the first day, I couldn't have paid anyone, like the venue, which needed all their money, and the catering and the party and the XYZ. So yeah, if it didn't go down like that, things would have been bad, but it did. And it was great. And we flew in instructors from all over the world. We got in contact with William Wegman, who's a fucking like legend in our industry, to come in and like be our keynote speaker. And then, yeah, we had 300 people show up, and everything ran perfectly. Nobody had to know that I almost died on the second day from a combination of like severe dehydration and what turned out to be COVID. But yeah, it was the most work I've ever done on anything, and I can't believe it worked, and we made money, and it was successful, and people had an amazing time, and I don't know if we'll ever do it again, because it was a lot.
Insane. Yeah.
It was insane. One of my favorite things was we had a friend of ours in Las Vegas, and I had to order all these things for the conference, and I was like, can we ship things to your house? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, can we ship a lot of things to your house? And she's like, it's totally fine. Don't worry about it. I have a big garage. And so I was like, okay, great. So I get there, I basically land, get a couple hours of sleep, go to rent the U-Haul, and then I drive it to her house, and she opens up her garage door, and an inch into her garage is just a wall of boxes. And I'm like, oh my God, it's her entire garage from floor to ceiling. I'm like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, no, we're happy to help. So
no, we're happy to help, but get it the fuck out of here now.
And that we did. And we had such an incredible team of people doing like so many amazing things, but like just to organize and coordinate it was insane. Getting our dogs to Las Vegas was hysterical, because we hired friends of ours. Ken Mackenzie, who I don't know if you've met Charles, but and Emily, we rented them a car, and we put our dogs in it, and we said, drive to Las Vegas, and off they went. And then we flew there, and then suddenly our dogs arrived one day. It was fucking bananas, and Joshua pissed all over the Mirage floor because he was very overwhelmed with all the smells. And we had a Junie's no swimming pool party, which I went through so many emotions that night, because like we had this big, cool, successful pool party, and Junie, who was like once someone's trash, someone tossed her out of a car, and like she had to have her leg amputated and all this shit, is now like having a big themed pool party in Las Vegas with like hundreds of attendees, and like we're selling Junie merch and fucking beach towels and shit. And she's getting wheeled in on a custom-made palanquin with like people fanning her.
Incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then some woman spilled her beer on the palanquin, and Junie, and then I became the angriest man in Las Vegas.
Which is a rare feat.
Yep.
Yeah, what a feat.
Yep. This will make you feel better about your wedding for when it gets overwhelming and you barely get to eat dinner. I spent $30,000 on food for that party. Not a bite. Not a fucking single bite did I get to see. I didn't even get to walk up to it and see it.
I have specifically told Jess coming up with the wedding. I didn't really pick a lot of things on the menu. I approved. Me and Jess have a lot of the same taste. But the main thing I wanted that I saw available on the menu is there's going to be miniature grilled cheeses during cocktail hour, 3 different types. And I told Jess, I was like, I don't give a shit how many people want to be like, congratulations. The minute I see that platter go by, I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to come back with the platter. It's like, I paid for
Cocktail
this.
hour, you're taking pictures.
No, we're taking pictures beforehand, actually.
Oh, good.
That's the plan. We have to.
I missed a cocktail hour. I
That's
was so mad.
That's what we're scared about.
I had a three-piece violin set.
Yeah.
All the pop music. And I didn't get to enjoy it at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have to. Yeah, Sam. We actually have to talk to you about our photo schedule.
Yeah,
You gonna play violin?
Can I play violin? Not well.
Yeah. I was gonna say I probably can get by, but it's not gonna sound good.
Yes. No. We can definitely chat about your. For those of you who don't know, I'm photographing Charles's wedding.
Yep.
And I will basically take a look at your schedule and tell you if you're making any grave mistakes. But other than that, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine paying that much money and then be like, well, I didn't get to try it, so hopefully it was good.
Yeah, and so this was the night before the day that I almost had to go to the hospital, and when our our main coordinator was like, Sam, when was the last time you ate? I was like, yesterday, and she's like, God damn it. And so basically this was like I was giving a class on. It was a Photoshop class, and it was funny because one of the people that we had in attendance was one of the people that created Photoshop. So like he was at my class, and I was like, fuck. And so like I started off with a joke, and it was like, who here like would consider themselves like a beginner at Photoshop? And like half the people raise their hand. It was like, who is like a more advanced Photoshop user? The other half was like, and did anyone here, like write the original code and create Photoshop? And one hand in the back. I'm like, oh, one hand in the back. Okay, yep. I was like, hi Russell. There were just like an incredible series of like unforgettable things that happened in rapid succession, and then it was done, and it was crazy. And then like the incredible thing about Las Vegas is that like even though that was like a full year of planning and like it was great and people came from all over the world, the fucking second that it's done, it's like, no, we got to get this MLM into the space like right now.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh fuck, we gotta get the fuck out like real quick.
Yeah.
What do we do with all this stuff?
I experienced that shortly after you had Shutterhound. The company I was working for, we had our annual meeting like at a convention center, and yeah, that was a company of 80 people, I think, or something like that, and they still threw that together. I'm like, I have no idea how anybody could do this as a job, like put this shit together. And yes, of course, the minute our conference was done, everything was like the balloon arch was literally just being like poked apart and everything was just being ripped out. I was like, Jesus,
tear it down.
Yeah.
I would probably consider doing one again, but I don't think I could do Las Vegas, and there's definitely some things I would change. But the big thing is if I were to do another one, it has to be better than the first one.
Good luck.
Yes. Welcome.
Yeah, that's great number one, Sam.
I'll MC.
There's so many stairs in this house. It's unbelievable.
Don't worry, Matt. We vamped for you.
Oh my god. Sorry. I got a Binky SOS text.
Oh.
Binky the clown?
Yeah, it's just fucking. I had to get him out. Get out of here,
Happy
Binky.
birthday.
No one even booked you. You're not booked.
All right. Well, Matt, that brings it to you.
What's your
You're
number
one?
one? Is your number one your Boot Factory?
Boot Factory, boys. No, my number one personal achievement is basically Will.
Will, huh? Will's your
Will. I'm so proud of him. I personally created him.
Oh.
It's honestly, and this is gonna sound so silly, or not silly, but just like cliche. But I'm me Just me right now.
Okay. Thought you were just
We
gonna
all
say,
thought he was gonna say his kids.
yeah.
But no, it's him.
It's me.
Self-made
No,
man.
it's just me. Self-made man. No, well, no, my kids are a part of that. That's what I mean by that is this. I'm very lucky, but again, I will not sell myself short to the fact that I am where I am with who I am. It's everything that I wanted to be when I was younger. I'm married. I have 3 awesome kids. I have a nice house, and I do well financially, and I take my kids on Disney vacations. I drive a nice car. It's something that dropout high school me playing a kid's basement in Ohio would I'm very surprised at where I ended up. And I'm very proud of it. It's something that it's like my flex. And like I went to school and like middle school and high school. I didn't do school. I didn't give a shit about fucking school. I was going to drop out anyway. I always knew that. I knew I was going to drop out since before middle school. That was always the plan. I just didn't give a fuck. It wasn't for me. And now, a lot of people that did do good in school, I see their Facebooks. They don't have the life I have. And it's just like, I don't know. I just, and then the same thing too with my own, even in my own family, right? I have one drug addict sister. I have a niece who's dead from drugs. And then I have another sister who's doing, doing fine. And then I don't know. It's just like in my personal circles, I am like a anomaly to where I should be, all things considered. And like, I don't know. It's just something I'm never like I never forget that. And it's not something that's easy. It's not something that was like whatever. Like I have a good job that I work hard at it every friggin' day. It is, believe me, it is not something that comes easy to me. I work with people where it comes easy to them. I'm like, man, good for you. But me, I'm just like every day. And I don't know. It's just, I am proud of myself. I'm very proud of my kids. I'm proud of my wife. Yeah, it's really not much to say. I friggin' this house, which someday will be unpacked, maybe. I have no idea. I have a 100-inch TV. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good. And believe me, sometimes I always think of like the worst. I'm always like, man, what would happen if I lost my job tomorrow and like all of this like stuff? I'm just like, you know what? I think a lot of people would be very scared, and I would be more frustrated that I just have to figure out a new way to sustain it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how it's not even like a question of like, oh, what would happen? Well, what if this happens? What if this happens? It's like, okay, I don't know. Well, this is a minimal amount of money I need to make. And if I have to work 20 hours a day doing 4 jobs, then that's just what I'll do. It's not even like a question. And then the podcast, I'll have to do it during one of my shifts.
That's our new show.
I'd be like, yeah, no, my number 5. Hold on a second. That'll be 7:42. Yep. No, the green button. Green button first. Yeah, but no, it's me and everything that is under my umbrella.
Yeah, I would
So-
say, like, Matt, from my personal experience with there's a lot of people in my school who did drop out of like high school, got their GED, and none of them they just stayed on that path. They filled that stereotype that there is. I think you might be the only person I know who did drop out of school and then just kept going. Like you just made it work. So you're in a very small percentage of people who just decided, like, I'm just going to succeed at this. So just figure it out. When really that's it's a lame thing to say, but that really is what it is. You just got to figure it out.
Yeah,
Things just don't happen.
and that goes.
You have to do it.
And that goes back to what I was talking about when I was 16. I was like, I'm just very lucky that I know what I want to do. And it's just like, I'll just do it. I'll learn everything about the thing I want to do, and then I'll just be an expert in that thing. And then I'll just execute on that. And to me, that seems like a very simple process, no matter what it is. I just have to have the interest in doing it. That's all it is.
Yeah,
But-
I always saw you as working at like a record store, hitting on the younger girls who work at the record store.
Oh, that's the retirement plan.
It'll always be the dream.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm working up to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, I think that's beautiful. And so, did you grow up like very working class?
yeah.
Yeah.
I my dad worked at Raytheon his
Okay.
whole life, and then my mom worked part time at Market Basket.
Okay. Yeah. So like I had my dad was a letter carrier for the post office, and my mom worked in a factory, a cracker factory like Millhouse's dad.
We're the number 3. Maybe single people eat crackers. I don't know. I don't want to know.
Do you want to see where they make the crackers with the peanut butter already on the inside? Well, put this on and follow me. I slide down a pole. But no, I get that where like you grow up seeing like, okay, like my parents work really, 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 really hard, like, and all the time, and they do their best to provide for me, and they're like here, and it's like I don't want to. Like, I don't want to do that though. I don't want to work super hard to be here. I want to do my own thing and be here at like some other level. And yeah, from bad teeth, overweight, guitar playing, like fuck everyone, basement Matt, to will your way into where you are now is very impressive. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
it's a good number one.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. I was very shocked to learn that other people did not were not ambitious. It's incredible to me when I meet people who do not have ambition. It's so absolutely fucking dominant in my being that I can't. And like, not to share too much of a former host, but a former host, we'll call him bro. But when I started to like be successful in my career, and I got a job, and he was like, I got that new job. He's like, oh, that's awesome. He's like, what are you making over there? And I told him, and he's like, it blew his fucking mind. And I told him then, years ago, I said, you can do this. You 100% could do this. I was like, I'll help you, whatever. And he said, no, I don't want to work that hard. And that honestly was such an absolutely fucking mind-blowing statement to me. I was like, and then honestly, it kind of changed my perspective on him from that point forward. And I'm just kind of like, don't even bother, because he's not going to try. And it's like kind of what it was. And it was too bad too, because he could do. I mean, he's not stupid, but I was just like, I don't know. It's just like I come across people like that, and I just it's genuinely shocking to me when it's like, oh, this could be your result. You just got to like put in the work here, and just like, just keep at it and blah blah blah. And it's so fucking hokey or whatever. But it's like I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. Yeah. I dropped out of high school and I have a one associate's degree in computer networking that I got at a 2-year college that it took me 4.5 years to get. And everyone I work with, one of them has their master's on my team, and like the other ones are all like, 4 years at Northeastern with like in like a 2-year internship. And I'm like, I don't know what you guys did. I know you guys are all very smart. I was in a band. But that's the thing, right? That's the thing about me that I think is I'm very proud of, is like these people did this. That was their path. They went to school and then blah blah blah, and they're here. And now I am also here, except I have all this lived experience that these people did not ever do. They never toured in their bands. They never fucking built attractions to entertain tens of thousands of people. They didn't perform in front of all these. It's like, and to be fair, a lot of people don't give a shit about any of that. It's like not anything on their plate, and they don't care, and that's great. I hear you. But when the time comes, and I get to like write my tale, like I'm just gonna have this like scroll of like a journey, and I think that's sick.
Nice. Agreed.
And with that being said, I was like, you know what? If there was ever a time to really drop the hard R N bomb, that would have been it. That would have been the big go out time. But no, you don't do that. It's not a nice thing to do. But yeah, it'd be cuckoo bananas. But yeah, that's my number one. Me, baby.
Beautiful.
If you're listening,
it's a beautiful tale.
Yeah. If you're listening, you've made it this far. Congrats. You've just had an accomplishment.
There you go.
Wow.
You've made it this far into this long. It's a long episode.
It is very long.
Yeah.
There ain't no way. Mm-hmm. Well, Kevin Weaver will, because he's the best.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would say, speaking of which, even though he's on the West Coast, he saw this notification come up that he could have submitted his list.
Yeah.
Fun Butts
Did
list.
he?
No, he could have. That's what I said.
Did anybody?
Yes, we have 3. Technically.
Okay.
So first up, we have K-Funk. Number 5, staying awake late enough to make a top 5 list again. 4, managing to still see Will at least once a year and keep his high school yearbook picture in my wallet.
Hell yeah.
Yo. My
That's very
sister
funny.
has that type of friendship with one of her friends. Her friend has kept like one of my sister's senior pictures in her like dashboard and every car she's ever owned, and only at this point just because it's her tradition, like just having her friend ride along with her.
I just hope my picture's in between his 2 kids.
Fantastic. Number 3, surviving my 20s. The odds were definitely against me. 2, convincing my now wife to date me for 11 years and eventually marry me. Mm-hmm. And number 1, providing the love cream to make 2 incredibly awesome humans that will almost certainly surpass me in every way.
What a way to phrase that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Roman Hamadan. Number 5, earned a bachelor's and master's degree. Will soon earn my principal certification.
Wow.
Roman Hamadan, is he going to be a principal?
That'd be so cool.
That's pretty cool. Number 4.
We could definitely get him kicked out of that job.
Yeah. Number 4, coached my high school's first ever state champion in wrestling and earned their only team district title. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, 2022 Teacher of the Year. That's pretty sick.
Wow.
Number 2, successfully fought 5 traffic tickets, all dismissed. 5-0 record against demand. That's great. And number 1, raising my awesome son. Started listening to Top 5 of Death right before he was born. He'll be 11 in November.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And
Wait
last,
a second.
what?
2022 National Teacher of the Year was Kurt Russell,
He said, "Hey, what?
Kurt Russell.
the black one.
Oh, that one. Oh, that Kurt Russell. And lastly, we have Daniel Sepultura. He doesn't have a list. He just says, just talking to girls / not married. The last girl I talked to. I dodged a bullet.
Okay. Whatever you say.
There you go, bud.
God,
That's
get
the
this
list.
man fucking laid or something.
That should be our 500th episode. We all show up to Daniel Sepultura's front door.
Jeez Louise. All right. Well, listen, that ends a very long, but I think a very good episode.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of all of us.
Yeah.
You're proud of us.
Yeah.
Proud. All right. Well, next week, everybody.
Yeah.
How about
Great.
it?
Nice.
Sounds good. Well, with it being
I'll text
time
you
is
about
it?
about the topic.
1 a.m.
Jesus.
1 a.m. I got to work tomorrow.
I'm going to be up
Should
in
be
6
fun.
hours.
I gotta get up in no less than 10 hours.
Shut up, Sam.
You fucking cunt. I have to go figure out where I'm going to sleep, so that'd be good.
I'll behind
Fantastic.
you.
I might. I gotta say, there's an unboxed bed frame in that pile that I could put together and then sleep on. But alrighty, all right, enough. Smell you later.